हेलो हेलो माइक टेस्ट 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 आ रहा है? नहीं आ रहा है, कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा है। मैं बोले हेलो हेलो माइक टेस्ट 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 हेलो हेलो माइक टेस्ट 1 2 3 हाँ मैं हो जाएगा देखो।
हाँ, दोनों स्टार्ट कर। All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very warm welcome, and honestly, a very truly like sorry, and my sincere apologies. Actually, we kind of did not factor in that this is the first day of the long weekend that's coming in, and we've been getting calls that they have pujas and the Navratri functions in their own offices, and hence they got a bit delayed. And we honestly did not want to, start without the delegates actually calling in and showing their interest. Hence, this genuine apologies from my end. I'm really sorry. I have no idea how Sorry, I am about this terrible delay, but I'm not going to take much time right now. And my speakers who've been so fabulously cooperative and understanding and patient with me, I duly and genuinely respect the time they've taken out with me to join us here. So without much further ado, I'm going to call on stage Mr. Indrajit Sauji, who is the group publishing director for ITP Media Group, to deliver his opening address for the Smart Office India Summit, the Hyderabad edition. Indrajit, please come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 13th Annual Smart Office India Summit 2023. It's a Friday evening and it's overwhelming to see you all in person and to see the hall full to its capacity. I again apologize for the delay. We are told a lot of people are stuck in traffic and they'll be joining us soon. We have 225 plus registrations and it's amazing to see you all in Hyderabad. A huge round of applause for each one of you for being here today and making this event meaningful. It's truly a pleasure to stand before you today as we embark on this journey into the future of workspaces. The Smart Office Summit is not just a conference, it's a gathering of forward thinkers, innovators, and industry leaders who are shaping the way we work and interact within our professional environments. As we gather here, the world is undergoing a transformation in the way we work, communicate, and collaborate. The traditional office space, once synonym with rigid structures and physical boundaries, is evolving into a dynamic, flexible, and technologically advanced environment. The advent of smart technology, the Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence is redefining how we approach work, productivity, and the very concept of an office. Over the next few hours, we'll explore these transformative changes and the potential they offer. Our summit is a platform for sharing insights, experiences, and innovative ideas that will enable us to create smarter, more efficient, and more inclusive workspaces. We'll dwell into topics like workplace automation, IoT integration, digital security, sustainable office solutions, inclusive designs, changing nature of workspaces, and very interestingly, we'll also discuss on tackling midlife crisis. I see a lot of tense faces in the crowd. I'm not going to discuss our midlife crisis. We are talking about the building's midlife crisis for sure. We are privileged to have an incredible lineup of speakers, thought leaders, and experts who will share their knowledge and vision with us. Their experiences will guide us and we navigate into an ever-evolving landscape of workspaces today. You will have an opportunity to engage in discussions, network with peers, and gain insights that can shape the future of your organization and industry as a whole. In the spirit of collaboration and innovation, I encourage you to have full advantage of the summit, participate actively in the discussion, share your questions, share your experiences, and connect with like-minded people today. It's an interaction and exchange of ideas that makes this kind of forum really successful. As we embark on this exciting journey together, I have no doubt that the insights and inspiration you gain here today will be instrumental in shaping the building and workspace industry for tomorrow. Whether you are a technological enthusiast, a seasoned business leader, or an aspiring entrepreneur, the Smart Office Summit has something to offer to each one of you. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to our partners for their unwavering support. Our presenting partner, AFC, they are dedicated to ensuring that you have access to research-backed ergonomic furniture solutions. I encourage you to visit their proof of concept display just behind the hall. Mr. Togaram and his entire team is here and they are eager to assist you. Our associate partner, Bonidam, is here to ensure that your office spaces and your employees feel safe and secure. Captain and Ashish, thank you so much for your support. They also have an integrating display that you can explore behind the hall. Siemens, another associate partner of ours, offers remarkable smart infrastructure solutions and services. Amal Jaiswal is leading the team and would be delighted to discuss their offerings. Thanks, Amal, for all your support. Nescafe, our beverage solution partner. They are providing delightful coffee. Please savor and enjoy their various flavors they are offering today. Arctic Partitions, our category partner. They play an integral role in this event and we are thankful for their support. Thanks, Yogeshji. Our gratitude also extend to the Lee Meridian team for their wonderful hospitality. I'd also like to apologize to those we can't accommodate due to space limitations. However, we are taking this event live and I'm already told that 1,000+ people are viewing us on various social channels. Before we hand over the forum to our curator, Rashmi, let's take a moment to watch a short video that introduces our organization and what we stand for. Can I have the video, please? Thank you. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you. Let's embrace this opportunity to learn, innovate, as we collectively shape the future of modern office spaces. Thank you for being part of the Smart Office Summit 2023, and I wish you a productive, enlightening, and inspiring conference. Let's get started. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Indeed, for that welcome address. Okay, now just before we start off with the conference, I just wanted to introduce you to this initiative that the magazine's taken up actually. Last year was the first edition of the Commercial Design Awards, and we had this raving response from, and it's particularly and specifically only for workspace industry, the commercial and the corporate sector. And it was amazing to see that we had got around 800 plus entries from across the country. This year around, again, we'd be hosting the edition of the awards. And last time it was in Bombay. This time we are doing it in Bangalore. And given that the magic that Hyderabad is spinning with its infrastructure, with its economic contributions, the corporate setup and everything that is happening around, even with CM KCR doing all his initiatives, KTR coming in with such great, I don't know, initiatives. And I have absolutely, we all are mind blown to what I think every report that I've seen, be it Economic Times, Times of India, JLL, CBRE, Savile, all of these guys, Hyderabad seems to be making headline every single month or the quarter that they come up with the reports. So with this, we would really love to invite each of you guys sending in the nominations for the awards. I would just like to give you a quick glimpse of what the first edition was about. It's just a 2 minutes video. So if we can have the awards. That was a quick glimpse into what the last year's Mumbai awards show was. But this year we are already seeing some great entries coming in. But we'd love to see. Honestly, last year's Hyderabad nominations was also low in numbers. I don't know why, though you all have such great campuses, such great offices. So it's just my request here to see if we can get the participation on board too. So now, without much further ado, I'm just quickly gonna call on stage Mr. Akib Javed, who is the regional head for AFC Furniture Solutions. Evenings like this is impossible without industry support and the partner support. And they've been really with us through the journey of Smart Office Summit. I mean, this started as smart, but it's no more just smart. There is so many concepts included and entwined into this summit, and they've kind of evolved with it. So with this, I'm just going to show you a quick glimpse on what AFC is about. And I would love to call on Mr. Akib Javed, the regional head for AFC Furniture Solutions, to come in and give his welcome address to us. The video, please.
Since our inception in 2008, with quality-driven operations and sustainable practices to deliver more than just furniture, we provide complete ergonomic solutions, the essence of comfort and perfection, blending elegance and efficacy. AFC Furniture Solutions, equipped with latest technology, spread over a grand area of 2.5 lakh square feet, with a monthly capacity to manufacture over 15,000 workstations and 12,000 chairs. Our extensive ultra-modern and climate-conscious green manufacturing unit is dedicated to bringing the AFC quality to our vast and varied clientele. Headquartered in Noida, AFC has established a true pan-India presence today, from Tier 1 to Tier 3 cities. Across various sectors, AFC has consistently garnered praise and loyalty, positioning itself as a trusted and reliable name in the industry. From design to delivery, the agile teamwork of AFC's workforce of over 600 people ensures that clients always get an efficient and hassle-free experience.
We started with the vision to deliver on time. Thanks to passionate team at AFC, we always honor our commitment.
AFC's cutting-edge nanotechnology-based powder coating plant covers an extensive area of 12,000 square feet. Utilizing state-of-the-art technology, AFC employs advanced and effective methods throughout the entire production process. From precision cutting boards to meticulous design and finishing, they spare no effort in creating furniture of exceptional quality. And to ensure top-notch standards, AFC has implemented robust quality control systems at every stage. Each piece of furniture and components undergo rigorous inspection and testing, leaving no detail overlooked. With green manufacturing procedures, AFC aligns their processes to ensure that they are contributing to a more sustainable and environmentally conscious future, while creating high-quality furniture solutions. AFC, not simply good, we make it perfect.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Akib Javed, presenting this company, AFC Furniture Solution. I'm thrilled and honored to welcome you all on the behalf of AFC Furniture Solution to this prestigious event, 13 Smart Office India Summit 2023. As we gather here today to exchange the ideas, sharing the knowledge, fostering the meaningful connection within our industry. Your presence here reflects your commitment to advising our field. We are excited. We are excited to embark this journey of learning and collaboration. Thank you for joining us and making this event as an enriched experience for all. With that, I officially declare the 13th Smart Office India Summit open. Let's connect, collaborate, and celebrate this moment. Have a great evening, guys. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Okay, so this is our quick introduction to the first session of the evening, and I have immense pride in welcoming each of my speakers coming here today, because it's really great to actually, after seeing the work that they've done and understanding their experience and insight in the industry, to have them here join us on this platform, sharing that with us is an extremely big privilege to me, at least. And I'm honestly thanking each of the speakers present here for that. The first topic of this particular evening is addressing the needs to create next-gen workspaces. And one of the speakers pointed out to me that it's not just next-gen, it's all-gen. Because yes, the world coming into Hyderabad and the way it's expanding, it is cross-generational, and we have some great speakers here who are running some great facilities, who are managing them so brilliantly, kind of give us an insight into how they are balancing everything, be it the well-being part, sustainability part, the cost part, the ROIs that is obviously put across to them by the management, everything. With this, I'm gonna call on stage my first moderator for this particular session, for this particular panel, Mr. Wing Commander Shrikant, who is the director for the real estate and facilities at Pegasystems. He's been brilliant at coordinating with each of his panel members to see what can be derived out of this topic and this panel discussion. Joining him on this panel is Mr. Gaurav Kumar Dubey, who is the head for facilities and administration at Citco Group Services. With him is Mr. ISR Rao, who is the senior vice president for head and the head of administration and statutory compliance at Aurobindo Pharma. Along with these gentlemen is Mr. Madan Kumar, who is the director for the global real estate administration and physical security at LTI Mindtree. And lastly, joining them on this panel is Mr. Sandeep Saraf, who is the head for office leasing advisory at Hyderabad JLL. With this, I would love to call on stage each of my speakers and the panel members for the first session of the day. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand this over to you. Just one request, because just keep your mic closer because it's being live streamed, so we just need the audio to be yeah.
Hello, and thank you very much for calling us and giving this opportunity in this fine brand where they conduct conferences with core subjects like architecture, interior design, and they have expanded into next gen spaces, right? Before I start as moderator, you should go to LinkedIn and see the way Lakshmi posted the and gave an introduction for each one of us. While she gave the depiction of what this conference all about, she wrote something about Wing Commander Shrikant. Right? and I felt so nice about myself. And I didn't know I was so good, right? Then I saw Colonel Ramesh Menon's script, right? He was somewhere there next to God, right? And it was so very well written. Thank you, right? Now the topic here was addressing the needs to create the next gen workspaces, right? Next gen means something we call it something tomorrow, right? So if it is today, whatever we have, say a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, if I say if it is, we can always say it is a next gen. So it is what comes in the future is always expected to be a bit more better than what we have now. And let's start calling that next gen spaces as smart spaces. And that's what is the theme of the conference, right? 13th smart office. So smart offices. So what is smart here, right? What is smart? My phone is smart. My car is smart. My watch is smart. Am I smart? I'm not really sure actually after all this. And when you, or at least does these make me smart? I'm really not sure. Because what is smart? What is next gen? But when you see this word, not as a word, but as an abbreviation, then something different comes up, right? So I'll just tell you here. So what is SMART? S for specific, M for measurable, A for actionable, R for relevant, and T for time bound. And each alphabet is going to be taken by one of the panelists here. Specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time bound. You will see, but there are only 4 panelists, right? The guy who was supposed to speak about the M in SMART is missing. He has gone to Pune, right? So we'll see how we can match up for him, and then we'll take a call from there. So what is SMART? Even in this, now you are asking, a goal is SMART, right? A goal is SMART because the what is the SMART. What is SMART? Because I'll tell you with an example now. The what is SMART, but how part of it is the way we do work. Way we do work is actually empowerment, right? If example, what is SMART goals? Increase employee productivity by 10% within next quarter. It's a SMART goal. Lose 10 kg in 6 months. How I wish, but yes, it is a SMART goal, right? Reduce absenteeism by 1% within the next year, in 1 year. SMART goal. Improve employee satisfaction by 5% in the next 1 quarter. Reduce energy consumption by 5% in next year. So what you have is you put a measure to it, you put a time to it, and it is specific, right? This is actually SMART. Now, with that as a background, we have these distinguished panelists out here. I have Mr. ISR Rao. Now, when we all took a team huddle behind as to say that 3 of the 4 had come out with printed out answers with introduction, body, conclusion, advantages. This is why I got a bit overwhelmed that if these guys have prepared so well, I better ask the right questions with all of them, right? Now I have ISR Garu, who is in Aurobindo Realty, Senior Vice President, Statutory Compliance and Head of Administration. LTI Mindtree Madan, a very good friend. He's just switched over from Wipro to Mindtree. Can I say that? Yeah. Yeah. And Wipro to LTI Mindtree, and he handles Telangana region. Yes, sir. Arvindo Pharma. You're in Pharma. Okay. Arvindo Pharma. Okay. Sandeep Saraf, I've known him ever since, I should say, a long timer in JLL. And if any transaction gets closed in Hyderabad area, I guess he has a touch point on it. A very fine friend here, Gaurav. I have seen him doing transportation management in HSBC, and he's immensely paced his career, that grown very well presently at Sidco, managing India portfolio. Sir, I'll start with the SMART, specific, measurable, action oriented, relevant and time bound. This is the topic. Every question um, must be paced in this. That's when smart comes out, right? Now, I sir Garu, with all your experience. Today he is in Hyderabad, he is in Aurobindo Pharma, but he was in for about 15 years, I guess, in L&T, L&T infrastructure. If you see the Hyderabad metro rail running crisscrossing the city, it is this man, right? And he's got a major touch point in the execution of the project as an administrative head for that mega project of Hyderabad. Yeah. So, sir, more than the Aurobindo Pharma stuff, we'll take that. It is the most sustainable project amongst all the metros in India, where you don't have air-conditioned railway stations, right? That itself saves so much of energy and carbon and all those sort of. But that is besides. In terms of design, right? Circular workplace design. Can you provide a specific project in your experience which can be applied, measurable, smart, action-oriented, and finished in a time-bound manner with goals which are smart goals, and the way we have approached those goals, right, has been friendly to the environment, easy to execute, and it has helped the public in large in terms of when you see the project, it says, yes, this city has improved with this project and it is touching my life on a day-to-day basis, right? With you, sir.
Good evening, all. Wish you a very happy Dasara. First, I want to say he's talking and actually he's driving in such a way. It is difficult for me even to answer the question what is put up now. Okay, anyhow, yeah, really, as you said, smart. We start from the smart. For any change that need to take place in the future, you have to discount the future first. What we are today may not be the same in down 5-10 years of time. You are traveling with the time. Okay. So the expectations of the next generation, per se, will not be the same what we thought and what we are observed over here. In this concern, I just wanted to give my inputs with respect to the, a workplace, particularly smart workplace, how we can make it. See, recently to see in Hyderabad, Galaxy building opposite the IKEA is our commercial office space. Actually, incidentally, I was made as a project head over there for the, particularly for the arrangement of the office sitting arrangement and other things. So at the beginning of the construction itself, if you plan it, you have a better, smart, and a productive workplace. If, say, for example, if it is open, if it is yet to be done, you have always, multiple options to do whatever you want. But after everything is constructed, if you think about it, to make it more productive workplace, it is surely a difficult task. So accordingly, we formed a small committee with 2-3 more engineers and one of the director, and we thought of that this will, suppose if you are putting this cabin here, it will huddle here. And suppose if we wanted to keep this particular space towards the window, employees will be, more interested in watching outside than doing the job inside. So there are many things will come into picture before you are moving forward. So when you are designing a workspace, so better you start it from the beginning of the project, particularly keeping in your mind the sustainability concept. And more and about today, the customers are expecting that how good you are doing to the environment, rather, how much you are, serving. This is the concept of the new gen customers. They are expecting you to, a more environmental friendly and, recycling, reusable items so that, you are harming the environment in less manner. This also, if you keep like, power, how you can best utilize it, automation of power. These are all even some of the agencies, Siemens put up over here a counter. What I'm telling, this is what the smart. When he said your phone is smart, your car is smart, your everything is suit and everything, even your attire is smart, then why not your workplace? The logic is simple. So your workplace also, if it becomes smart, then automatically a lot of productivity will be there. And then it comes to the, you ask for the specific project. I already address. And measurement wise, yes, we saved a good money recently by introducing like, building management system in this Galaxy building, because it's difficult for, it's 1.7 million square feet of the building. It's very difficult to manage with human intervention by switching off the lights and all that, unless you go for automation. So it is measured in such a way that we almost paying the cost of 1/4 what otherwise would have been paid with the employment of the humans over there. So measurement, and then what is that you said?
वो नहीं मैं बताऊंगा मैं. T for
Okay,
time.
anyhow,
Time out.
okay, that's the reason. Okay, my request here, what I wanted to conclude it is the
Relevant and time bound.
so yeah, okay, whatever it may be. So when you are doing your workplace, you please consider 3 important things. With that, I am going to finish my answer. One is do it before the building is constructed. Plan it, rather not do it, plan it. Then second is keep it everything in your mind that you are not harming the environment, or rather you are introducing the more supportive way of, keeping the workplace. Last but not least, third, it should be more productive, economical, and efficient. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next, I'll come to Madan, right? I'll take the case of Pega, which happened recently. My own department, facilities, real estate, we have offices in Hyderabad, Bangalore. Of Bangalore, only 4 members in the facilities, team. We were doing a team building exercise called scavenger hunt, right? Hyderabad made 12, 13 people were there in one conference hall, 3 people in Bangalore, and scavenger hunt going on. And then the anchor was asking us to get something and all those things. And then over a period of time, what happened? Only the Hyderabad team was actually participating. The Bangalore team actually started keeping quiet more and more. The point where I'm coming here is not about that team keeping quiet or we being very noisy out there. The point is they got left out, right? They got left out. And in this hybrid world, with all the technology, I think we have a 200, at least we should be having approximately 150 MBAs out here. In our first semester, if you are saying, a manager can actually interact with only 9 people, because anything more than 9, the lines of communication are so difficult, they will not be able to manage well. Minimum 9, maximum is 9, right? Now, in the technology space, we have all the technology that is needed in office, but you find people not participating. They keep their video off, audio on mute, and you don't even know whether they are participating, and they are off. They come in, log in, and log out of the meetings, right? People are actually left out. So you have in a hybrid environment, there are people in a meeting room. There are individuals taking their meeting from their cabins in their office. People are taking meetings from other meeting rooms in other offices, cities, and people are also at home. This is a very hybrid environment. In such circumstances, how do you ensure team bonding using technology? How do you ensure employee inclusion using technology, that everybody's opinion matters? People don't respond. And in this, using technology, what do you have to say using the keyword smart? How do you think that we will be able to achieve the word A with technology And overall, you can use the word smart and articulate what you have to say. In a modern office, if you can elaborate with examples, it will be great. And modern office with whatever example that I said, using technology, how do you ensure that you bring people together and create the sense of belongingness using technology?
Thank you, sir. Good evening, all. Now, smart office or smart environment is not new to us. In fact, it started maybe 5-6 years ago itself. Every organization or every real estate company started talking about smart offices. It was either on first gear or second gear, but thanks to COVID, it took suddenly to the fifth gear to think about a smart office or smart real estate. So that is where the research came into picture, and there is always a question mark after COVID. Maybe people started working from home, working from their native place, working from some nature friendly environment, all those things. Now bringing all of them to office is a big challenge. So that is where the research and architects, PMC guys started working on it. One is we need to bring the efficiency, cost-wise, we need to bring the efficiency and the operation-wise. At the same time, we need to bring employees back to office to make it collaborative environment. So that is where the challenges has come, and thanks to the partners who is working along with architects in bringing the environment efficient and user-friendly. I'll give an example. Now, the work environment, if you want to bring employees back to operations or back to office, they should not feel office is something different from their lifestyle. So, if you are working from home, you'll have a coffee machine next to you, or you can prepare coffee in the same room, and you can work from the same room. Now, the design also same. Earlier, if you see 10 years ago or 15 years ago, pantry is somewhere outside, you have to go from your workplace. You need to spend about 10 minutes and come back. Now, the coffee machine is next to your workstation only. So that is where the design has come into. At the same time, we should not lose the space where people are working. So with the collaborative spaces, we are bringing that into the operations. You can relax in the same place, you can work from the same place. Earlier, if you see, we were using 120 square feet per workstation. Now the efficiency has come up. With the collaborative space, it is coming to 70 to 80 square feet per person. And at the same time, you have some play area in the same place. You have some collaborative space where you can meet with the people, and along with all these efficiency, bringing natural light, natural spaces inside the offices without polluting the office environment. So that is where the architects are helping us, and thanks to government also pushing all the corporates with energy efficient targets. Government also pushing, and our social commitments also towards bringing the energy and water operations wise efficient. If you see, earlier we were having 1 TR for 400 square feet. Now the same 1 TR we are using for 700 square feet also with the latest technology in air conditioning system and bringing a lot of natural light into the office space. All these things are efficiency measures. At the same time, bringing the employees back with the same environment, which is like their home. And we're not stopping there. We are pushing the play area into the office space where employees feel like I'm playing and I'm working also. And third is, if you create that collaborative space, employees, they're not meeting in a meeting room, they are meeting in a collaborative space where it's an open space only. Like if you are meeting in a mall, you are spending some time. Similar to that, you are bringing employees to the workplace where you have that collaborative space. They're not feeling like it's a meeting room kind of thing where somebody will speak and everything is closed environment. It is not closed environment anymore. It's an open environment. That is where the smartness is coming while bringing the employees back to the operations. That's from my side.
Great, wonderful. Now coming to Gaurav, right? Before I pose the question to Gaurav, it's like this. Office, you might want to spend, there is no upper limit to spend in constructing an office. You can do it at $65 a square feet to $800, right? At least I've seen at least up to $200 a square feet in one of the companies in Bangalore. So the point is, finally, what happens is user experience. Whenever an associate or an employee walks into an office, in that 8 or 9 hours that he or she is in office, from the time of entry or from the time the person leaves home, that is the company cab picks them up, till the time the person reaches back home, there are at least 17, let's round it off to 20 impacts that the associate experiences from administration, facility, real estate, from coffee machines to chair to workstation to restrooms to cleanliness to indoor air quality to lighting, because light is a fixture, luminescence is an experience, AC is a fixture, temperature is an experience, washrooms are just fixtures, but the cleanliness is an experience, right? So the point is 20 transactions and administration impacts and associates. So if you have 1,000 employees in your office coming, 1,000 into 20,000 transactions is our department impacting 20,000 transactions per day. So with every transaction, what is the human emotion that comes out of that associate? It is anger. Is it suspicion? Is the food in my plate safely prepared? Suspicion. A woman going in a company vehicle with driver, is it safe? That doubt. Happy atmosphere, good 24 degrees, 23 degrees, AC too hot, AC too cold, everybody must have experienced, right? That's a different experience. So 20,000 experiences, transactional experiences you are able to deliver. Finally, it all comes to what human emotion you are able to impact. And that makes an office smart, right? That is user experience. Sitco, his office has been recently done. It's a very great office, I've been there, but there are some drops that he has seen in the design stage. Your question is linked to what ISR Garu said. You should, whatever you need to factor in, implement it in the planning stage, right? What are the operational challenges and designs in challenges and design? And give with examples, and can you describe how a design decision during the planning phase was relevant, and what are the challenges that you are facing now, keeping the human experience, user experience in mind? I think you got the round off of the whole question with the example that I gave about 20 human impacts, right? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to talk about relevance of the building where we are spending 9 hours, 10 hours. Maybe in our business, we are spending 12 hours. And that is for 5 days. Mostly we are not working with hybrid. We are working for, most of the 5 days from office. So how this goes as user experience and what challenges a facility manager faces. It's very important to understand, and that is for the industry who are into design. So the company for which you are making design for the facilities, what kind of business they are in, what their goal for 5 years with the business design, how the people are going to sit. It is in a linear desk setup, kind of developers are there, or there are financial chartered accountants, what kind of collaboration space they are looking for, what kind of facilities they are looking for, should be the first thing, the key attribute for a design where we are designing a building for many years actually. So the thing is, what we are getting as facility managers, how we are adjusting our operations from a facility which is designed by the team, and if the consideration was not there, that for whom they are designing the office, how much collaboration space we are looking for the crowd, for the people who are going to use that facility, is something very important. And we need to think it before going for the final design and implementing all fit outs, because after it is done, It's all facility management who faces daily challenges, and we can't change it back. So my points on the relevance of facilities, what not exactly our office, but yes, for the majority, how we feel. So one thing is very important on collaboration area. For nowadays, what design we are getting and what implementation are happening for the kind of selfie booth for the Gen X, Gen Z. And the design for new office is coming like you can be at a kind of open amphitheater within the office campus. You don't need enough space. You need collaboration space where you are having chats, you are talking to each other, and the nearby desk guy who is sitting next to the collaboration area is not able to work, not able to focus because there is no space, no curtains. And all talks what going on between the team, when they get louder, we don't know. And what will the impact of the next person who is sitting in the next table and waiting for his calls to be completed, and that too with the international clients. So the thing is, how we are making design with the collaboration space, which looks good, give a wow factor for the new joiners or a kind of new generation. But how relevant it is with the business, how much impact it is giving to your operations is a challenge. Maintenance of those areas by the facility people who are actually not trained with the product owners. The designers are giving their product and photo is happening between facility and the normal fit out team, but there is no handover takeover between the designers who are product experts with the person who is actually going to clean that Korean tabletop. They don't know how much maintenance this is requiring. So the thing is, the missing part between design, handing over, taking over, and the actual execution is no knowledge transfer from the product team who is actually designed this product and giving it back to the facilities team who are going to clean it. So these are major challenges with the design and collaboration space. People are eating there. The smell issue always happens. Rats came, rodents came, and they destroyed the entire area. And fruit flies are the very common thing across facility if you have open collaboration space. In addition to that, we are adding green planters everywhere. Those also attract too many flies and some kind of insects where people are not feeling good. They can claim that the fly that has come is from the food table, from the plate they are getting from the cafeteria, but possibly it is not cooked. It came from the facility where you have too many green areas, too many planters, too many open space like collaboration space. People are eating there. Now coming to the additional, the point we have in some designs where we are seeing that the critical space, like our server rooms, our UPS rooms, which should be isolated at one side to make the design symmetrical or a kind of beautiful for the facility, for the area. There are some positioning of those areas where people are crossing those for moving from one way to other way. So the request is for designers to move these areas to isolated corners, not on the way where people are crossing these critical rooms every time. And we will have to, strict monitoring for those areas with security compliances that yes, no one enters in those rooms without access or no one disturbs those areas. So some design flaws, and at the end, the carpet or the tables, what we are procuring, the chairs we are procuring, how much maintenance it is requiring should be informed to the team who are going to manage the operational expenses. So their budget would be ready with the challenges that yes, they are going to cross the upper limit for initial 2-3 years of the office. And we don't know how much expense would happen because there is new office space. We don't know the normal, the maintenance charges of those newly bought high profile international products. So these all information should be given to, the FM team, to the experts who are going to manage facility day to day, and knowledge transfer is something requiring for, our day-to-day operation. The last point I want to touch here on the common thing, which is, your pedestal. There are space where rat can enter inside, and there is no benefit of keeping your pedestal, with you, where you can't have control of any insect entering in the pedestal and your IT assets are getting disturbed because of those rats biting those wires. So if we have some steel plates, some ceiling between the floor and the pedestal level will save, the kind of problem people face here. Also, if we say that one liner steps, do's and don'ts, how to use your pedestal, a printout, one small sticker can be pasted. People can use it because nowadays there are high profile questions pedestal in the office, but we don't know how the number system will work, how we will open it, how we will close it. So people leave it just as it is. They don't use it. So just one small printout of 2 rupees can give actual usage of your pedestal, which is not being used because of no information. These are small things I wanted to cover. There are many such points, but because of time limitation, this is what I have for facility management.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Sandeep, मेरा number कब आएगा? All right. Sandeep is here to speak about the time-bound part, T part of the SMART, right? Cost optimization and design strategies. Could you share a case study where an innovative design and use of materials were employed to reduce cost, and that enabled them to finish the project in time without compromising quality and ensure that there was a great user experience? Because finally, the proof of the pudding is in the user experience, right?
Absolutely. Thanks.
Yeah.
Srikanth.
After he speaks, there are 3 or 4 quiz questions, and that's for the audience, where you will take your mobile, get your torchlight on. If you agree, you just show the light, right? Yeah.
Thanks, Srikanth. And thanks for coming to me last, but I'll try to make most of it. So in terms of completion of any fit out project or office project, there are 2 key aspects to it. One is the design aspect. So because sometimes what happens is we give a lot of emphasis to the construction part and give a little less time in the pre-construction phase, which leads to what Gaurav was saying. If we don't plan our office properly and give due time, then you will have those operational issues in future. So when I say design, it means the design layout has to be finalized in time. The procurement has to be done well in time. The BOQs and all the stakeholders which are involved in the real estate project, they have to be completely aligned. So what we have seen in some of the cases is that while there are different stakeholders, there's a finance team, there's the real estate team, there's the business team, and sometimes they don't work in terms of it in a timely manner. Everyone takes their own time, and it results in kind of delay in the project, and then you have to deliver that project. In the construction phase, you try to catch up, but then the quality of the office space kind of suffers. So the point that I'm trying to make is all the stakeholders during the pre-construction phase have to be completely aligned and have to work in a timely manner. Now coming to the construction phase, again, the quality of material or the choice of material is extremely important in a time-bound completion of a project. What we've seen, COVID has taught us, Srikanth and esteemed members here, is that our over-dependence on imported material sometimes leads to kind of a lot of delay in kind of handing over the project. So what we've seen a lot of clients, occupier clients have done is they've started using indigenous materials. I mean, whether it's modular furniture, whether it is the workstations, chairs, there are Indian makes which are as good as any foreign make. And one, it saves a lot of cost, and number 2 is it gets delivered well in time. So it kind of answers 2 questions which are extremely important. One is on the cost aspect, it saves cost. Second, the delivery gets delivered fast, so the overall the project gets delivered fast. So the choice of the material pre-construction extremely important for a success of any fit out project. And third, which is the again very important part, is the user experience. So sometimes during the design phase, we as real estate professionals don't give too much of emphasis on the user experience. And that kind of leads to a lot of issues and like Gaurav was mentioning in terms of rodents or in terms of other operational issues. So the user experience has to be at the forefront of any office design. That's extremely important. At the end of the day, we real estate professionals, we have to deliver this project
for the business, for the employees to use. And if the use is not done properly or it's not done optimally, that kind of leads to a lot of operational issues. So these are some of the takes from my end, Shrikant, on this aspect. Happy to answer any more questions that you have.
Right, now for an audience participation question, if you can all take your mobiles and keep your torchlight on. And if you agree with the statement that I say, you could just raise your hands and so that we have a general scatter diagram that comes out of who all agree from that, right? Torchlights on, just everybody raise your hands like that so that we can see the lights. Yeah, wonderful. Many of them don't have mobiles only, I guess. Yeah. Right. Okay, done. However, the offices, this is the first question. However, the offices, even a normal office with no technology, nothing, great leaders can make the office smart. Just not even 10% of the lights are being seen. Yeah. All right. In this audience spread, we have approximately just about 10 women in a place where 200 people are there, I guess. That means about 5%, ma'am, right? 5%. Greater the man-woman ratio, greater diversity in thought. Yeah. Great, yeah. The very fact that when you send a mail, you check for accessibility so that a blind person can read it, or basically for a blind person. In facility management, we send a lot of email communication for the, what we do is, rather than sending a script, we design beautiful posters, put pictures and create a nice artwork and then send it across. A blind person will not be able to read. I've got my scoldings from one person who is 100% blind in our office, visually impaired in our office, that she scolded me actually that if you do an accessibility check, there are software which can read the alphabets in a poster and I will be able to know what is being sent. Doing an accessibility check before sending a mail is a smart thing to do. You don't have a mobile? Nokia 3310 use कर रहे हो? Okay. All right. Okay. So we spoke about a lot of smart office, smart designs, practically the real world stuff, right? In the hybrid environment where you have only 60% of your office that is actually occupied in any given day, do you really think those pre-COVID days of for every 3 seats you have to have one meeting room chair, for every 9 seats you have to have one cabin, these sort of age-old ratios, are they even relevant today in a smart office environment? Of course.
It is no more relevant with the current trend going on. People are not liking to stay in the cabin and work along with. So leaders want to work with the team. They want to sit along with the team and have the collaboration so that work is easily and the delivery is easy for the leaders also. That is what now the trend is. There is no that ratio working anymore. Now organizations also driving towards that. Leaders making it as an example to sit along with the team. That ratio is no more relevant now.
Sir, you want to contribute?
Yeah, actually, there is no need to follow those, ratios. In fact,
age-old ratios are all gone.
there is no point today. Wherever you are there, you are able to operate your office, and the communication and the way you are able to interact. The technology today available. I don't think that you need to. Even I prefer open office where completely like this only we can sit and operate it instead of cabin and all that.
So anyone can take this photo. What do you think are good smart metrics in a new office that is set up? Do you, just from your swipe data, do you know at any point of time, real time, that so many people are inside? What do you think are good smart metrics in your office? Anybody? I think, yeah.
Surely, definitely, it's an added advantage. No, again, just by swiping itself or by pressing a button, if somebody knows how many people are there in the office, they were surely.
For these sort of things, you don't even have to go to market to buy software commercially off the shelf, actually. Simple knowledge of Power BI can be able to, and you can develop these things in-house. It's all a matter of upskilling by your own facility management teams. That is one. I've more or less come to the end of the panel discussion with all of them contributing. We would like to another couple of minutes, in case we are permitted, Indrajit. Any views, any opinions, any violent objections you might want to come up with, which we can include, yeah, assimilate and take forward. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Somebody there.
Yeah, good evening all. It's a great debate and discussions. Lot of light have been thrown, and how the office should be smart. But what I feel is there's an absence of one particular person in the panel. That is a designer or architect. You could have given a chance to speak, that point of view. So that is what maybe my suggestion or objection. Like, you spoke what you want, what are your problems, but addition, one panel, an architect or a designer sitting in along with you to express their views would have been more better. Thank you.
Okay. If you're talking the M part of SMART, right? I actually covered it up by those 3 questions actually. It's practically accessibility, how inclusive your design is supposed to be, and how you are using the facility metrics to gain useful knowledge to run a good SMART today's office. That's practically the measurement part of SMART. The intent was to not ask one question and pass the same question to all. The intent was to ask 5 questions, SMART. We could do SART with them, and we included the audience for the M portion. Thank you. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, panel members, and thank you so much, Mr. Shrikant. I think my LinkedIn post fell short to what you are in person. Honest to God, this was such a beautiful, fabulous panel. It is so engaging. It was like music concert vibes with the lights that you got on, but thank you so much. We just love to give you a small appreciation token from our end. For this, I would love to call on stage for Mr. Tongaram, who is the country head for AFC, and Captain Edwin Saldana, who is the MD for Buni Dam, to please come on stage and give our speakers a small token from our end. You're the first to the director and moderator of this panel. I'd next like to give it to Mr. Gaurav Dubey. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Dubey. It was really nice to have you on this panel. We next have Mr. Aisar Rao, who took out his time to join us and to know the experience that he has and the insights that he shared today. It's absolutely invaluable. We next have Mr. Madan Kumar, who is from LPI Mindtree. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan Kumar, for joining us and giving us the insights into your own experience. And finally, we have Mr. Sandeep Saraf, who when Commander Shrikant said is a man who knows anything and everything that happens in Hyderabad real estate. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you just take a quick group picture, and I'll quickly go on to the next session by then. The next one is by Siemens. Now, Siemens is a very, very well-known brand, at least for the tech solutions that they have rendered for the industry. And to give us more details about this, we have Mr. Amal Jaiswal, who is the head of business development and digital enterprise business for smart infrastructure solutions and services, which is all what offices and the themes today is all about. With this, I would love to call on stage Mr. Amal Jaiswal and quickly give us a glimpse into what Siemens has in store for the smart offices.
Quickly being the operative word here. I've already got a lot of messages, but I have to really go quick. So I'm just going to quickly cover what we do in this space of smart offices. We've heard esteemed panelists talk about facility management, operations maintenance, construction costs, and so on and so forth. I think in every aspect, there is technology playing a huge role. And today we want to quickly talk about what Siemens is doing in the space of IoT hardware, IoT sensors, workspace experience mobile apps to improve productivity of employees, and how we are able to connect all the various variety volume of data into a single pane of glass to ensure there's a single source of truth for every building. So with that, I want to quickly show you a video of what we have done with the IoT sensors. That was enlightened, guys. This is a breakthrough IoT device, which is the size of a 10 rupee coin. I could be literally holding it in my hand here. We have put it on display at the back. It's a powerful device which is able to control lights, control AC, check temperature, measure space, talk to a workspace experience app. Essentially, the idea is to do more with less. Imagine the amount of hardware you would need to do all of those use cases which have been packed into one tiny IoT device. And the idea is to move for digital transformation. If you have seen our office space, it was very traditional in nature, but now we are going into smart offices, self-adaptive offices. Essentially, we need data coming in from smaller devices, more data that we can crunch in softwares to create those human-centric workspaces. But when I keep talking about IoT, I also felt like we should address this IoT overused word, right? I mean, everybody is talking about Internet of Things, but what is it really, right? And what does it mean for our smart infrastructure industry? And I couldn't have summed it up better with this slide here to give a perspective, all of these traditional devices now being replaced by something like a mobile phone that we use daily. So this is like one hardware replacing many traditional hardwares, and comes with a software on top of which you can build multiple applications to bring more use cases. So for example, when the mobile phone was launched, we didn't know that today evening we'll be using it for booking a cab back home. So these are all use cases that you can build on. And that's exactly what we've been able to do with the IoT device like Enlighten, which is so tiny, and tiny version of it is at the back. And like I said, it's able to do space utilization analytics. So somebody was talking in the panel that we have more, let's say, collaborative spaces now and less desk spaces. How do we measure? How do we build more effectively in the future? Insights coming out of these sensors can help us. Lighting control, power, temperature. It also has a Bluetooth for asset tracking and people tracking. So essentially with one breakthrough device, We are able to control lighting systems, and we're able to also control HVAC based on occupancy. At the same time, we're able to give space utilization analytics, and it also comes with a mobile app for which employees can use to book desks, book rooms, change lighting, change temperature, and so on and so forth. So it's essentially combining energy, real estate, and productivity, which are, I think, the three main KPIs for any corporate real estate head. This is kind of what the app can basically do, also on display at the back. Please do check it out when you have time. But this leads to a new problem, right? As more technology comes into our office space, we realize that combining with the traditional technologies like connected devices, automation, fire safety, and all the other tech that goes on behind the scenes in our office, there is a problem coming in, which is too much data, or a huge variety of data, volume of data, velocity of data. Now, this can be an opportunity, or it can be a challenge to even manage them. And this is exactly where this year we have come up with Building X, which is our connected platform. It's kind of a single source of truth, which is able to help you with your KPIs around sustainability, experience, and performance in your building. Imagine a single platform that can speak to any device in your real estate. And you have just the one single pane of glass to look at to run the show for your facility. Essentially, Building X is everything in a single screen. All of your IoT sensors or legacy sensors, mobile apps coming into a single platform is what Building X is. It will be able to connect, digitize, optimize, and explore. So essentially connecting with anything, like I said, then we digitize, which is convert that data point into a 0 and a 1 so that a computer is able to understand it. Followed by exploring that data by converting this raw data into insights, applying artificial intelligence based analytics to predict the performance of your building so that you can plan budget better, and finally optimize that can help you take those actions. And in optimize, just like the mobile phone that I showed you earlier, we are able to build more applications on this platform. So think of Building X like an Android operating software on top of which you can build more apps. For example, an energy manager app for energy analytics, or security manager app for managing video surveillance, and so on. 360 viewer to view the building like as though you're in a metaverse, actually inside the building. Fire manager, data visualization, and a lot more can be built on top of this particular platform. So with that, I would love to invite you guys at the back and check out all of these technologies live in action, enlightened with the breakthrough IoT device. It's kind of like our gateway into the world of IoT. You can start off with a simple use case like LMS and then break through all the way to Building X, workspace experience apps, and more. And with just 2 minutes left, and I'm bang on time, I would just want to finish up with the last video for you, and we will hopefully interact more in the evening.
I'm here for you, whenever you need me. I create perfect conditions for you. I'm passionate about performance, user experience, and a sustainable future. I am a single source of truth that unites the physical and digital worlds. I am accessible anytime, anywhere. I'm more than a smart building suite. I am a vision come true. I am Building X.
Thank you.
Well, his taunt in the beginning of that speech that I've been getting messages was from me. So, but thank you, Amal. You went through it so quick, so fast, but so insightful. Thank you so much for that. The tech, that the way it's changing and the way companies are keeping up with it, it's really eye-opening for me. Well, thank you, Amal, for that. Now, introducing to the next panel of the session of this particular evening is titled as the Tackling a Building's Midlife Crisis. This particular panel I had put in very recently into this actually because I'd seen since our liberalization, which was in the 90s to now, there have been many offices, many campuses now that is taking up major and massive redevelopment, refurbishing, renovations. And though a lot of us keep talking about new offices, this is something that I really felt we have to take up and look into. And to address this, I have this wonderful panel and a great moderator for this. And they are going to do an absolute beautiful, brilliant job to give us an insight into what and how a building's midlife crisis, when the infrastructure is crumbling, but the office is still functional and working. Before I call on to the speakers, I'm just going to request everyone in the back, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in the back, if you can please come in and take your seats, it would be really great. We'll have the service to your tables if you guys want. But the thing is, there's a lot of complaints coming from the back that there's a noise that's coming through and they can't hear the speakers. So requesting all of y'all to please come in. We have networking time even post our session. So requesting all of you guys to please come in and please take your seats here. Now to introduce the moderator of this panel. It's the very dynamic Mr. RVS Reddy. I had a quick chance to meet him just actually today evening before the event started. And I'm really waiting to see how he takes this on. So I'm going to invite him, Mr. RVS Reddy, who is the head for operations at iLabs Group. Joining him on this panel is Srinivasa Prasad Vemuru, who is the Senior Director for Facilities, India and Middle East at OpenText. With him is Mr. Ravi Shankar Komireddy, who is the Director for Real Estate and Facilities for Hyderabad and NCR at Oracle. With him is Mr. Srikanth Reddy, who is the Managing Director for the Hyderabad Division for Cushman and Wakefield. And finally joining this panel is Mr. Srinivas Taluka, who is the Vice President and Facilities for Co-working for the Startup Hub of India, if I'm not mistaken, that's T-Hub. So with this, I'm going to call each and every speaker and my moderator on stage to please take on the dais, and I'm going to hand this over to them. Please, Ms. Reddy, thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's nice to be back with the industry peers. It's been a couple of months, I think we've been catching up. The topic which I voluntarily chose to present in this evening is something which I'm living with it every day in and out, because I had an IT park called iLabs, which is 18 years vintage. So you can imagine the life, you can imagine the comfort with which I go through each and every day from morning to evening. So I don't want to be alone in this whole game. So I want to share some of these experiences so that at the end of the session, I get a solace that there are sufferers like me in this group as well, right? Okay, so it's a very vast area to cover, but I try and summarize it a couple of minutes, and then I'll request my peers and the experts in this field to enlighten us a little more. So where does this need come from? The upcycling. Where does this need come from? And what are the drivers which essentially pushes you to start looking at this kind of an activity? Well, be it 20 years back, be it today, going to be after 10 years, the real estate is going to be the main cost driver for each one of us. Be it a builder, be it a client, or a designer or a project manager. Everywhere we hear this word cost mitigation, if not cost optimization. So how are you going to achieve this? When we have an asset built up, with quite a bit of capital invested into it, be it a public money or a private investment going into that. There is always the driver coming from each of them. How am I going to optimize the returns from that asset? Now, can that be done over the entire life cycle of the asset, be it 20 years, 25 years, or 50 years? I don't think so, unless we keep up with what is required currently and what is to be in place to make sure that we satisfy the appetite of the investors. That are we generating an optimal revenue from that asset, right? In any line of business, be it personal or be it commercial, what is that we are looking at when I go for an investment? It's the rate of return. So that's one of the driver. So then what happens? Do we have enough investment to take us forward every time there is a change in the technology, every time there is a change in the ask, especially in a multi-tenanted clients, or is there a way to handle? Is this investment appetite going to continue? No, it's not going to continue. It has its own life cycle. Couple of years back, we saw the trending of investments coming through in hordes from the FPIs and the angel investors. It cooled down in between because then the rate of return turned not to their liking or to the expectations. And again, I see quite a bit of investment happening. We don't have to go too far. Just look at how high-tech city is transformed in what it was to 93 when cyber towers came into being till of today, and what financial district was in 96, 97 to when QCity came up to now. There's a whole lot of transformation happening, right? So the need comes from essentially the people who are going to man these assets, and the need, the drivers which are coming from there also is external. When I say external, couple of points. The sustainability is a factor which everyone talks about today, be it in a small way, be it in a big way, be it local, national, and a global level. We all have targets starting from Narendra Modi to down ourselves. They are the targets which we are setting for ourselves. What do we do in 2020? What do we bring it to table on 2030? And what do we do further beyond? So couple of points, the drivers which come from the clients is a push factor for the builder or the owners of the IT parks to look at how am I going to meet these targets. Then of course we've been hearing this word 3R: reduce, recycle, and reuse. The resources are not infinite. So the question comes, how am I going to manage the available resources in the most optimal and sustainable way? So the reduce, recycle, and reuse concept is being pushed in a big way from the IGBC. Those especially going for certifications would understand the importance of these factors. The most important, I believe, is the driver is the cost of inaction. Why do you say cost of inaction? Every builder, having built millions of square feet, having got a marketing team who can fill those spaces with nice couple of American clients, couple of these guys, those guys, they sit pretty, think that everything is tickable and things will move fast and normal. Life is not so simple for even the builders or a marketing guy or an IT park guy. Things are moving faster and we are not able to cope up with the ask which is coming from the clients, right? So the cost of inaction, because why I can't keep up with this speed, because there is a whole lot of investment which comes into play if I have to keep up with the ask. So I keep protracting the decision. Let's see next year. Let's see next year. We thought we'll do something pre-COVID. I myself experienced this. We thought we'll initiate something pre-COVID. Then thankfully for me, the COVID came. Unfortunately, it's not so thankful. But 2 years of postponement, my building started aging faster. So my problem started increasing like in a escalated way, right? So that's one particular factor which drives you to why should I start looking at the upcycle? Then comes the last, but not very least in the whole activity, the cost mitigation. Can I do a cost mitigation on an existing building? Any number of mathematical models or a computer models will tell you the cost mitigation is not a possibility at all in an existing asset. Because there is an asset, there is a life, there is a usage happening, and I don't have the comfort of disturbing that particular, the way that the functionality is happening. So I can't have the cost mitigation. So what do I look at? I look at cost optimization or, right, or the protract the decision. So both of them are costly for me. If that is the case, then how am I going to relook at it? Because end of the day, if I don't have a nice looking building infrastructure that supports the client's requirements, that supports the functionality, that also supports the end of the day, the cost of a square feet, either per client or for me, it's not going to work that way. So I have to look at an upcycling the entire infrastructure, right? These are some of these points which I am going through currently because we started doing this kind of an upcycling these IT parks in 3 locations. I handle Hyderabad, Gurgaon, and Chennai. So then comes the question, why? Why upcycling? Why can't I go for upcycling or new? Why can't I go for a new? Is it so easy to answer that question? You have too many variables in that. There are too many players, and your own chairman is the first one to say no. Because no one wants to invest new or a large amount when your future is not known to you. By investing 100 crores in an IT park, can I get a revenue stream for next 20 years confirmed? No, I can't assure that. Which our marketing guy, which our leasing guy can tell you. So how do we look at it? Do we do upcycling and add some value with a minimal cost or go for a new? So there comes the data says, it's not my data, but the literature says almost 65% cases globally are looking at upcycling rather than going with the new installations. 2 benefits out of this. 1, you know what is your asset you have and how best you can optimize and upcycle it to bring it to nearer to what is the ask. The new one is a new installation which entails whole lot of risk management, whole lot of disturbance to the existing setups, which is not easy. I can have money, but can I get a good property manager today to handle a couple of million square feet upcycling with full knowledge of what he is going to do? It's very difficult. The resources are not there in the market. So even if I have the money, can I get the new equipment which meets or which future proofs my requirements for next 20 years or 25 years? I don't have the answer. So why not I do upcycle and go forward on the assets? So a little bit of introduction. I would just like to move on to the crux and the meat of this entire discussion today. What are the challenges for anyone who wants to do upcycle the infrastructure, right? Couple of them which come to our mind, and it's no great brainer. Risk management, okay, the disturbances, the client management, and the project management. Of course, the one which I just touched upon briefly is the budget. So I want to bring in the experts into the scene and start with Srikanth, if I may. The very, very critical point, and of course is the life for the entire upcycling, is the getting the sanctions for the upcycle and getting the right resources for the project management. So I just want you to enlighten us how, if at all, there is a decision made on upcycling the infrastructure. What's your suggestion? How are we going to handle these 2 parts?
I would say that this entire discussion will, first of all, to start with, is again costing side, right? So it's always the promoter will say no when you go to him at end of 10th year, 15th year. Guys, I need a couple of crore rupees. He will always say no. So we should try and learn from what are all the large companies from large developers from developed countries are doing, right? There's something called sinking fund. They diligently do the sinking fund methodology. They keep certain amount of scam charges or certain amount of rent diligently month on month away. And they spend at the end of 10th year, 11th year. Some year they change lifts, some year they change chillers, some year they change AHUs. So this is what will happen to start with if you don't do sinking fund methodology. And across all the developed nations, they do this. And then comes to the execution part.
Yeah, thank you. So, so the point which comes out here from Srikanth is that, yes, there are avenues where you can manage your budget, there are avenues, but how we going to manage this whole activity is more critical than just investing the money itself. So, where does it take us to the next level? What do you want to do, and what is the expectation? Srinivas, I want to come to you, and now that you're handling one of the most sought after spaces in Hyderabad, the tea hub, and a whole lot of startup environment is around you. Just want to check what's the mindset or the ask of the, if I may be permitted to say, the Gen X clients, right? So we have been in the industry, we're seeing, dedicated spaces to versus the thing, but right now that logic is being taken out. So what is the mindset and ask of the new clients, or the Gen X clients, so-called, we keep referring it, and what is the requirements, what they are expecting from us? So why I brought this topic is that is the driver from where, if I want to put cosmetics on building, that's not going to help me because the Gen X expectations are different, right? So I need to do something more.
Yeah, so first of all, good evening to everyone and wish you all a very, very happy Navratri. So it's a wonderful question. In fact, we need to understand that who are our stakeholders, whether we upskill the building or we go for a new construction. It is most important for us to understand who are our key stakeholders. The people who are going to occupy our buildings are all the Gen X, right? So before we come to Gen X, we also need to understand some of the background of these Gen X. So who are these Gen X? Gen X are people or the products of X and Y, right? So all our generation X, people like us who are sitting on this, we have whether right or wrong, but we have all come from a scarcity background, right? So we have to manage things on our own, and then gradually we have grown up in our careers, and then we have made good amount of money, and then we have made everything ready for our children, right? Today, the generation is not in that desire or need of what we were in couple of years back. This is the fact, whether people agree in the hall or not, but this is the fact that this was the need we all were looking at. But now today's scenario, the generation is totally completely different. What they want, they like to have free time more. They are also very much committed. They are very, very ethical. They are very smart. The generation X is very, very smart. They're tech savvy. So they know, even if you know the answer, give them the right answer. If you don't know, tell them honestly that I don't know the answer, because they are tech savvy. They can find out the answer in just click of a button, just Google it and they get the answers. But if you give them the right answer, right information, if they respect you, they treat you like a god. That's what is my experience with the Gen X, which I'm handling right now. But if at the same time, if they hate you, they will go to any extent to pull you down, because their weapon is social media. हमारे ज़माने में चाकू लेके जाना पड़ता था किसी को मारने के लिए, but nowadays sitting on a computer they can do anything using social media platform. So this is the mindset of Gen X. Now we need to understand that if Gen X is so strong in terms of technology, so the infrastructure what we are going to make is also more related to IT, more related to IoT, more related to AI. These are some of the important things which we need to factor along with the regular office infrastructure. If you do not have the proper upcoming technologies, I was surprised and happy to see the same thoughts which Siemens has shown us today, that flexibility of office spaces and the technology which they are coming. So these are a couple of factors which are very, very important when we design office space for a Gen X mindset.
Yeah, thank you. So the point essentially comes out is that Gen X expectations is more technology oriented, which leads to that, the point, whatever the upcycle programs we make, there should be less manual touch points and the more in technology driven metrics, technology driven facilitation and technology driven office management, which again brings to the point, are we really up to it to ensure that we are future proofing these spaces through upcycle management? So Ravi, you want to take this topic? How do we ensure for going through this upcycle of the infrastructure process? How do I future proof this infrastructure for say next decade? Can I assure that, or is there something which we need to delve into it in detail?
Thank. Like, let me just give you a little bit of background of whether you call it up as upcycling or upscaling. We are in a situation where what we need to do is, for the topic I'm sure is like midlife crisis for the buildings, if I'm not wrong. So I'm sure like none of us are in that midlife crisis.
Sure.
That on a Friday evening, that's for sure.
Are we sure?
Very much. So coming back to the budget, the challenge which most of the corporates face when we have a kind of a old facility. Okay. Like I just want to narrate a kind of incident where we have been thinking about upgrading or doing a retrofit for our old premises, which is our prime premises in Hyderabad. It has been deferred by year on year, thanks to the budget being deferred. Okay. The management always gives you the kind of an encouragement. On the flip side, most of the clients, okay, when our investors, they come and look at your premises, they say like, Ravi, okay, your carpet, your first day of business is 2005, but this carpet is not yet changed. So he gives me a kind of a credit by saying like, it is all good. So this building doesn't need a retrofit. The problem here is like the generation X, when they are a new hire, when they come into the building, they only see a kind of a flashy PPT of induction program. So what happens is like what we show in the induction is the art of technology of new spaces versus when they actually come into a kind of a premises which is 17-year-old premises, rather than taking selfies, they would start writing emails to real estate and facility management. So that's the situation I'm in right now. But coming back to the budget part, luckily, like most of the corporates have sensitized that requirement of doing a retrofit. But the only challenge which left is like what kind of retrofit? Because the retrofit means like it's not like a contemporary office where I heard from the earlier session that there's no more like that 9:1 ratio of cubicle versus cabin. There's nothing like we are not even aware about what is 30% of design. So all that we are looking at is a kind of a hybrid model where the footfall, even as in today, for a kind of a portfolio is hardly 30% on the peak days. So thinking about what kind of a design we have to put in something is like kind of a challenge. But I think we have to wait and watch and see what kind of requirement we need to do to induce or maybe inculcate or welcome the kind of whether you call it as Gen X, Gen Y or Gen Z, but not the midlife crisis management like us.
Veteran. That's great. So, so that brings us to the next point, which I want Prasad, we can throw a light on this. Srinivas spoke about Gen X expectations, and then Ravi spoke about how am I going to manage it. We really don't have the clarity on, or put our finger on this and say, yes, this is what everyone wants. You and me have traveled long time, so I will take this liberty of asking you, from the previous period where we started with our lives, fit outs, everything with the dedicated workstations, slowly transferring ourselves into the realm of huddle spaces, which came new 10 years back or 15 years back. Now we have flexible workstations, and then we have open workspaces. What really is the expectations coming from the client? You are also going through some kind of a midlife crisis handling these things. That's what we understand as we interact. So what is the actual expectation? What is the actual ask, which can give us more clarity to the guys who going to handle and plan the upcycling of the infrastructure?
Probably I'll start with more realistic. All facility fraternity colleagues would agree that one single driver for us is RTO, whether we accept or not, right? So RTO is a driver. What is going to probably influence the RTO to the extent, a great extent, right? Employee experience. That is the utmost priority. How do you give that employee experience? Probably without spending some dollars, if possible. Is not possible. So there are two parts to that employee experience. One could be from the landlord side, builder side. Another is the client side, right? So let's talk, we're talking about a building crisis when we start with the builder perspective. So what exactly employees look, especially post-COVID, is few things which after 25 years experience also, at least in my case, I won't have even bothered which filters we've been using, right? Now, everybody talks about a filter. In fact, I've learned going to Google and trying to understand what filter does. What MER 8, what MER 13, why MER 13, right? Now, employee also started Googling, not only us, right? So employee experience, there are few heads which they accept is the better quality of HVAC filters and employee safety and security in terms of lifts, aging lift, number of people getting stuck in the lift. Everything becomes an excuse for not coming to office. Ultimately, it falls on our head as a responsibility. One is a lift. Another is in terms of what makes them very comfortable come to office. Traffic, Hyderabad per se, we have become pathetic, whatever reason, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because my Bangalore colleagues, some of the people were celebrating. Yeah, you are also on the same wagon now, right? So that also probably affects indirectly how smartly you are managing parking. Earlier, parking was not a crisis. Now everybody talks about same 3 days, suicidal, but for whatever reason, we all do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Parking also, probably we expect builder to create an experience, right? Use AI, whatever, right? It's a seamless experience for a person to come in and go, not asking for additional parking. Are the builders geared up? They have done something new. I can openly tell you, I've not seen anybody improve post-COVID. It's the same, good or bad, it remains the same. We expect a next level, the parking. Then we're talking about employee safety, security. We're talking about health safety. What all they have done, what all they can do. So these are 3-4 things from the builder side. Then the last thing, whether we accept or not, we've got very nice IT parks coming in Hyderabad last 3-4 years. There is a clear-cut comparison. Why you don't have this, why you don't have this. Lifestyle could be restaurant, could be whatever, right? The whatever Gen Z, whatever is, they want to have a lifestyle. So these are on the builder side, which we accept. We're talking about a midlife. I was talking to somebody of the building. He says, forget about midlife. Even 12 years, we have become outdated. So that's where we are. Now, last thing I want to touch on the builder side. Even the recent incident on a 12-year-old building, fire engine took 1.5 hours to set up and start working. That's where we are. So these are the things we need to get up. We have a live examples. Forget about 24-year-old building. So I don't know where probably we're putting our employees. So then probably I will take a couple of minutes more, with your permission, on what we need to do as tenants. Yes, we need to probably talk about whatever you said. I fully agree. So we're talking about making optional spaces, which OpenText never believes. I'm referring my company. Earlier, we always believed on assigned seat. We continue to be assigned seat. But in addition to assigned seat, people look for various options. So if you ask business heads while building the project, everybody asks for it is what is home plus plus you are giving. That plus plus could be optional spaces, better AV in the meeting room, and then whatever I referred about the builder's point of view. You need to provide an overall experience is what is been asked. Unfortunately, we're not getting budgets. One could be business, Another could be there is no visibility or a vision or a clarity. We are also not getting budgets. Maybe we are trying to bank on builders, builder also in the same stage. So as old players, as you rightly said, I've been the landlord myself, so I understand both sides, but that's where we probably I can summarize both sides. Thank you.
Yeah, nicely put, Prasad. So that's the most critical point which is come in front of us. The ask is this long, the investment is this much. How am I going to build that gap? He mentioned plus, 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 and those plus is infinite when it comes from the client. So the most critical in any of this upcycling thing, even having a guy who's most open to investment, or they've gone public, they were abundant money like Raheja has today. So they can go and demolish buildings and build the new ones. They have the leverage. Not all of us have that leverage, right? I don't even have the capability to do the implosion and take out the building and then build, because I'm surrounded by the areas all around us. I don't have the leverage or elbow space to do put any additions, leave alone a simplest thing like when I build my, just give my own experience of iLab. When we build the campus, it's 5.5 lakh leasable space. We measured something in 2004 and 5 and those standards, floor efficiency. My seat count is about 4,000, right? So I made the utilities for it. I made the meeting spaces and so on and so forth, all the common areas. But over a period of time, the clients are worried about the floor efficiency, the per seat cost, per square feet cost. So comes the scene. Every time you do a fit outs, the employee count gone up. Now I have the same space which had 4,000 seats is housing almost 7,200 seats. How am I going to upscale my infrastructure to meet that requirement? Be it cafeteria, simplest thing like the meeting points, the cafeteria support, or the most sought after today and where we keep fighting day in day out is the parking for the employee vehicles. And we have escalations into the extent people saying that if you can't even give me parking, I'll not work with your company. The HR keeps coming to me with escalations again and again. Can you create parking? Can you create parking? Right? So why am I amplifying these things is the asks are growing. And if I have to, I have the money, I have the good project management team. Now comes the most critical. How am I going to do the client management or an occupant management? Can any one of you help us understand how we can handle the existing clients, taking them through the upcycle, making them, psyching them up to bring up to, yes, we are with you on this, but there is so much of a pain. We have to go through the upcycling cycle of be 12 months, 18 months, and maybe 2 years. Can we manage that relationship and keep the client happy so that we can go through this cycle?
Maybe I will continue with where I left. If there is a list of 5 or 8 items expected from builder, it's not necessarily that you will do answer, right? You will not be able to address all of them. Maybe longer relationship, whatever you said, more than 10 years, 15 years. So probably I will link it to one of the examples. When COVID was there, everybody was looking for the rental reduction, right? Nobody has given it. What has happened? You are together as builders. So we could also go back and explain to our business that typically we are still using the premises on landing on the premises, hence we can't ask, right? We could build a story. Similarly, we can build a story now. So talking about there are few things which can be taken, should be taken. So for example, parking, making smart parking, I don't think is a big cost. I think you should be able to do, right? And few things like that, you can list them and you start addressing them. And you can also probably partner, because that's what we're trying to do. So if you look at that, I don't have a capex to build an office, right? That's how people have gone towards the kind of enterprise solutions of separate companies. So similarly, why not builder can collaborate and do few things. So upscale need not be necessarily the furniture fit out of it. So could be anything related to the infrastructure, could be HVAC, filters, right? Lighting. So few things probably will be more than happy to partner with few builders and do a partnership model. So I'm going to probably table space, we work somebody. Why not with the builder? So we can definitely do. There is a cost delta, 14% whatever I'm incurring, will be more than happy. So if a table space can fund from the bank at 14%, I'm sure builders can do. So that is how probably our bonding will get stronger.
Yeah, so the positive point comes out in this discourse is that if you psych up the clients to what I'm going to do is going to be a positive side of your story in terms of I'm going to give you more comfortable space, more common areas for relaxation, or more client-driven requirements can be taken into the project design stage. They are with you. Unfortunately, the fallout of the negative side of this is that at every stage of upcycle, we have the time constraint, we have the most important variable called disruption, which is a BAU cannot be maintained for the clients during this entire cycle of 18 to 24 months. Why it can't be done? Issues, the supply chain managements are not so great still. I am literally going through with a global brand lift replacement program, which I started way back in March 2020. And I'm end of 23, I'm still struggling to get my lifts in place. It's a global brand. Initially, they said something, COVID, post-COVID. Then now I heard Ukraine-Russia war, and there is a supply chain disruption. I just can't imagine this in my logic. The lifts which are manufactured in Tokyo and have to come to Chennai port, how is Ukraine impacting that supply line? I've still not been able to get to the logic. But I have to lump it, I have to go on. Issue is escalations, right? When you have the hot floors, when you have the live floors, the clients are working on a three-shift system. This becomes one of the major concerns. So I want to bring up to that, I think we have about 5 minutes to go. So the last point is this. We do have excellent project management teams across in the, in our sphere, and they can do the design. You have a good designer, good architects do the design and give it to you. Probably your boss is enthused, he says, yes, damn good looking, I'll fund you, go ahead. How do we manage this risk in this entire upcycle? When I say the risk, there is going to be disruption to your normal working in terms of work window available to you, in terms of the noise and the issues around that, and also the issue of relocating some of these critical assets as part of your upcycle, right? This is the greatest activity which we need to manage. And I don't think any of your disaster recovery manuals or backup manuals talk about it, because we are not doing a new construction. In the new construction, everything is available in your hand, you can manage. In a retrofit or an upcycle, the biggest factor is how do I manage this risk? Anyone? Yeah.
I think it's the right situation where my organization is going through is that we have a building which is of 17-year-old. I think the retrofit budget has been provided, and we would like to go kickstart maybe from the next financial year as such. Okay. Having said that, it's again a chicken and egg story here. The problem is like in terms of disruption, I don't see anything as such because the footfall as it is, for example, like we have a seat capacity of 10,000, and on the peak days of whether it be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the footfall is maybe touching 35% to 40%. Maybe in a couple of other organizations, it might even touch 50. So from the disruption per se, like I don't see a challenge. But what I see is like, if it all, give me a minute time to talk about the budget which is being deferred post-pandemic. Is like as an internal investor, from an investor point of view, they're not able to see the kind of a footfall happening. So the question arises as to why should we invest in terms of retrofit? Okay, now coming to the second point is like for a kind of a lease premises in Hyderabad, I can manage to tell that is that for every 1 lakh SFT of building space for a tenanted one, okay, it is maybe assuming that whatever agreement we have signed with like builders or maybe like landlords is in the range of maybe 60 to 70 rupees for an existing lease. Okay, that's not the rental cost. I'm not talking about plug and play. That 60 to 70 rupees for a 1 lakh SFT will translate into almost like 70 lakhs. Okay, and the operations cost is another say 30 lakhs. Okay, which is towards your consumables as much. So it's as good as like the investor or the of a company who is thinking about when the space is being used 50%, what is the need of going for a kind of a retrofit? Okay, where they're saving close to like 1 crore per month for a 1 lakh SFT of a building. And that's the trend with my organization, and I'm not going to talk about others here.
Yeah, so saying so much and saying not so much, you touch that sensitive now of the risk management is the investment. Okay, right? That is the biggest risk all of us go through in this cycle. So you brought out a very, very important point, which is how much increase can I get my leasing rates, right? Any landlord looks for it. So if I end up spending, say, 20 crores for a 5 lakh square feet building, what's my ROI and how much can you assure me? So the best person for this is Srikanth. I'm not very optimistic. Please say.
Here you, Srikanth. 20%
So,
increment in the rentals. You spend money.
Yeah. So that's where the whole crux of the issue comes down. When I went to my chairman and I said, I want to upcycle, and Raheja has already done it ahead of us. We want to do it. He asked me, what's the budget? He said, 25 crores and over a span of 18 months. And then said, okay, I'm good with it. What's the increase in the lease rate you can give me? Guarantee. Right? So if my average lease rate is warm shell is 70, he asked me, can you give me 15% return? Tell me how am I going to generate 15% return on a warm shell rate with just 25 crores investment? It's next to impossible. I tried all my mathematical model. I could never go beyond 6 to 7%. And that has been validated by the market, right? Heja, again, Mindspace, the test case, they've gone through a couple of buildings, upcycling their infrastructure in building 2 and so on. And I didn't see that kind of an increase. Their experience is not even increase of that much, right? So many variables come to this. And these are not the challenges which are beyond us, but these are also challenges which are very, very tough to handle as a landlord or an IT park owner or a guy who's heading the operations like me for the entire IT park, right? So with that, I think we did cover quite a bit of gamut of this cycle of how do we do the upcycling of any infrastructure, especially the IT spaces. I come to the end of my discussion. If there is anything you have to suggest or to enlighten us, I'm open. Yeah, please go ahead. Can I have a mic to the gentleman? Yeah, just one question.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm a enthusiastic entrepreneur in this reality sector. And this question is for everyone, probably to everyone in the audience as well. Being into the reality sector, we are aspiring that, yes, the reality will be good. And hence we are seeing very beautiful building over the ORR. But like, as you rightly touched on, like midlife crisis for the buildings. And most of our reality sector depends on the IT. And the IT throws the same challenge of the open AI and ChatGPT, which says that the number of jobs would be going down. And we can say there is a lot of supply. And I just want to ask everyone, like, do we have the demand for this supply over next 5 years or decade? Thank you.
Yeah, I think Srikanth is the right guy to answer.
So I think there is enough demand for good buildings. All reasonably good buildings, which has good amount of amenities, will get leased out. Demand is coming back in a big way. This year, we will probably do anywhere between 7 to 7.1 million square feet space, which is very good in numbers. Next year, we are all good to the amount of RFPs what we have in the market. We will do about 8 to 9 million square feet for sure. So what does it do is all good buildings, somebody like Raheja, who's doing retrofits, older buildings will get leased out. All new buildings like Satwa, RMZ, Phoenix, good buildings will get leased out. Buildings like Sir's buildings will stay vacant for some time because that need spending back. Sir will see a not increase in the rentals. When the rentals will start dipping, that's when he'll start spending money. As long as getting 70 rupees rental, he'll not spend money. So good buildings will get leased out. Status sold buildings will have an issue because status sold buildings will always have an issue for retrofits later on, because who will spend money? Nobody will spend money. Unless until they have sinking fund methodology, nobody will spend money. So they'll start suffering later.
I have also one question.
We'll discuss over drinks, sir.
I have a question to Mr. Srikanth as well as Reddy sir. Here, I'm here. We were talking about midlife crisis and the problem for retrofit, all the emirates panel talks about. And we talk like within 10 years, many buildings out of the race and Gen X complaining about the facility and everything. Yeah, you are upgrading, but can you give an idea what is going to be next 10 years? Because these current building, which is like you're saying, upcoming in came in last 5 years, now getting old in terms of facilities. So how you see the next 10 years? What is the new technology and what as a property consultant you are doing to take care of that challenge?
Yeah, with your permission, can I address that question? Yeah, so how the futuristic building will look like, it's very difficult to predict now, but looking at the current trends and the patterns which we are observing on a day-to-day basis. See, I look at the futuristic offices like more of sustainability, because when you build a infrastructure, the next gen will look for EV mobility. So we need to get prepared for the EV charging stations in our parking area, which is one of the requirement. Then at the same time, AI and automation will play a major role in terms of building management. Then the next equipment is AR and VR, because today we are sitting in this room and having a conference, but going forward, all of us may be working from our offices or home, but still, able to attend the conferences such like this. So this is some of the things which our upcoming buildings should be equipped with, is what is the point. And the other point is the flexible offices, because after the pandemic, we all noticed that remote working or work from home has become a common practice now, right? So we also need to understand and provide the technology which can support both office and the home, which is the hybrid model. So these are some of the trends which I'm foreseeing right now. The suggestion from converting into co-working, sir, we are coming from a co-working space. We see a lot of revenue in co-working compared to the normal fixed desk, and that too we have a category of fixed and flexi. If I look at my fixed desk cost versus my flexi, my cost revenue is more in flexi than the fixed sitting.
Related to that, sorry, I'm just taking. So do you see current builders are working towards the future building? And second, if we are converting the co-working spaces, what about the security? Because I am from the security company. Security is going to be threat. How many people are coming now? Facility from 4,000 to gone to the 9,000, and type of security you need for those buildings, air quality you need for those buildings, that is also going to be challenged. So is current builders working on the future building and plus the security, what is going to happen?
All the existing buildings definitely have to go for retrofits every 15 years, especially the backbone of the buildings, which is MEP. You have to change, there is no choice. Chillers, you have to do between 15 to 17 years, new chillers. Pipelines have to be changed, lifts, new technology have to come in, you have to start replacing one after another, there's no choice. So you have to keep spending and this has to be a constant process. If the moment you start thinking like third building, you have to spend 25 crore rupees at one shot, it's a problem, right? You have to start doing every year some kind of work to retrofit the building. Coming to security at co-working, so where is the security when employees are working from home? There's no security, nobody is watching anywhere.
That you didn't understand my question. Like there are different hours of working, and how many people are inside in case of emergency, how they will escape, and number of people from 4,000, 9,000, how you are managing the security, how many people, who is coming, when is coming.
Please don't go into such buildings because they are not 550 approved.
That is a great question and a
Okay,
great.
I think we are in the, I think we are on the top of the hour for our discussion. The rest we will take it in the second section outside after this, right? Thank you so much, and a round of applause for all these industry experts.
A round of applause for a brilliant question, and even the audience has some brilliant answers to what the panel has to say. I would quickly call on stage Mr. Amal Jaspal from Siemens and Mr. George Joseph, who is the partner with Siemens here, to come on stage and give our panel members a small token of appreciation from our end. Thank you so much, panel members, for that brilliant moderation and the replies that we've got from each one of you to patiently this. And I know Shrikant was running late. I remember him putting in a mail to me. I didn't even reply to that, saying that I would be. Look at that. Yeah. I would love to first thank Mr. RVS Reddy for this beautiful moderation and directing of this panel. Next we have Mr. Srinivas Prasad. Thank you so much, Mr. Srinivas, for being here with us. We next have Mr. Ravi Shankar from Oracle. Thank you so much, Mr. Ravi. We have also Shrikant Reddy from Cushman, who gave us these witty answers. Thank you so much, Shrikant. And finally, we have Mr. Srinivas Taluka, who heads the Tech Hub of India and the state. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Just a quick photo session. Yeah. Thank you so much. No. Please. Now we have the final and the most dynamic panel discussion, and I think this panel left a lot of food for thought, especially from for the builders. And I want to see what Mr. Gautam has to say for all the questions that the panel threw at him. So I'm really keen on bringing them open. Before that, I would love to quickly just play a short video of from our partners, Bunidam.
Bienvenue. Bienvenido. Welcome. Welcome to the first moment you enter. The first steps, taking you into a new experience, a journey which begins with us. With us, you're in safe hands, inside and out. And inside, your day starts, your work, a protected space, or just a moment with your friends. Come in, because doors and avenues will open for you. Ours and our security solutions. And our security solutions ensure that what lies on the other side is safe. We may be just a small part of a large building. We create a grand first impression. Together, we welcome you into the world's most inspirational buildings, from the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam to the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. And for the design, we craft a contemporary masterpiece, expertly produced to all that a building deserves.
holding service in our hearts, dedication to our people. We go beyond what is expected. That is our passion. For more than 140 years, we've ensured people feel welcome and secure. We are Boon Eden, your entry experts.
Thank you so much. The topic for the last panel discussion of the day is the changing nature of work and the workplace, because it's so related and so dynamic. And this group of panel members that I have, of seeing the rapport that I'm seeing here, they are more like friends and college group than an industry peer. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this dynamics on stage. And I'm going to call on stage to moderate this panel, Mr. Arvind Babu Ramaraju, who is the head for Global Admin Center for Excellence and Workplace Transformation at LTI Mindtree. Joining him are his friends, I'm not even going to say industry members, Hariprasad Panda, who is the president for Capstan Services. We also have Gautam Gadela, who is the head for commercial businesses at My Home Construction. Him is someone I want to hear now to reply to what the second panel had to put across. Joining them is Mr. Ramesh Menon, who is the director at GAR Infoban. And finally joining them is Mr. Sesha Sai, who is the managing director at Savills. I'm going to ask each of the panel members to please take seats. And I'm going to quickly hand this over to the moderator of the panel. All right. Over to you. You're checking out the...
Good evening, everybody. A quick request. Ravi, come. I'm requesting. May I please invite Mr. Ravi Shankar Tomireddy, Director, Hyderabad and NCR with Oracle. Welcome, Ravi, onto the stage. Friends, those of you who are behind, if you could kindly come forward and take seat. Not my request, Rashmi's request, okay? So, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. So there's so much content around this that we have seen, we have spoken about, we have discussed, and the right way to arrive at a consensus on anything in this topic should actually not be a panel discussion. It deserves much longer than that. So I request CDI to organize an offsite next time, take us all there, and then we discuss, elaborate, and then come to a conclusion. So that's the first point I wanted to make. Nature of work is changing and the workplace is changing. We all have been privy to very interesting conversations on that. So with me, I have my very good friends. Just before we all got up here, we spent some time in the lobby and we're going over what could be the content and what should be the right ways to get responses. And what we agreed on is this model. We'll go with one question each. They'll quickly introduce themselves and do one question each. And then we'll see if there's anything from the audience that could enthuse and interest and on any of the elements that my co-panelists expressed. We could probably have a quick Q&A and then wind it up. So I hope it suits all of us. Influence of technology on flexibility and diversity is something that I've been talking for quite some time. And the changing nature of work and workplace. So is workplace is it necessarily the epicenter of everything that we do around work? Is it the only place from where we should continue to deliver? And that's the question. I think it is answered in parts. So why is this fascination towards workplace? We said that work can be happening from anywhere. There's remote, there's hybrid, there's multiple models. So why this fascination towards workplace? And for us to assume that work has to be delivered from a workplace, is that assumption right? If it is not right, then what else could be the elements that we should probably consider? As we come to addressing that question, I think eventually we should land at that by the end of the conversation. I'll start with Ravi. So Ravi, sorry? You got exhausted. We'll go to Gautam. So Gigi, Gigi, my question, and I think the perspective we can try to build is that what is the influence, impact of this emergence of hybrid and remote working on the work itself, right? So there is this work and workplace. Let us try and demystify some of the relations between both of them, right? So let us just for the moment focus on what do you think are the influencers, or what is the impact of technology and this nature of remote and hybrid work on the work in itself? What do you think, Gautam?
Firstly, I'm not sure if the guy who asked the question on security in co-working, not around, right? Is that okay? Maybe once he's back, I'll answer that because we did find some solutions in one of our projects in terms of how do you handle it. Coming to technology, all of us do agree, right? You know, technology has been a disruptor, so we have no choice, but we embrace it and we take it forward. From a developer perspective, sorry, we're all friends, so well, we're of different generations. We're all friends, so said that, you know, we are designing our future buildings for two very important things, right? It's people and it's the planet, correct? Planet is the sustainability agent, people is the experiences. We firmly believe that most buildings are called smart buildings, but one request to the clients is that, you know, smart buildings, it's a journey, right? There's no holistic solution which a developer or in fact, even a FM fraternity can give you on day one to any employee, right? It's a journey, it's evolving, and we continue to embrace it. On the flip side, post-pandemic, the most important thing which has happened, which we firmly believe is, we, the people, have become the amenity, correct? We're no more designing workspaces as environments. We are more trying to design them for experiences. And I firmly believe three things which impact. Another one I'm talking on will be technology, is sustainability, technology, and experience. When I say experience, it's every commercial building going forward will become like a hotel, correct? It is that experience you get of getting into a hotel. That's how commercial buildings are done. We from our company are in putting this in full focus, and we are building a building in Kokapet, which will ensure all these things are in place in the future ready, correct? Now coming to how a building can be built technology, I firmly understand from the fraternity friends is the three components in a building, right? One is your passive components, which Siemens actually stole the limelight, which is all the IoT sensors, which talk about air quality, your environmental impact, all of those parameters. Second are the active components, which is us as users, right? We have ID cards, smart parking, desk management, and all of it. So these active and passive components have to be integrated with the third one, which is your integrated approach, which is primarily the active ones, which are the passive ones, which are the IoT sensors, and the active ones, which are your software. So both have to be integrated. What are these? This is your HVAC optimization, etc., etc. So I firmly believe that if you don't embrace technology, this will disrupt the employee experience. If your employee experience is disrupted, your buildings are going to stay vacant for how long they are, correct? But again, coming back to what today modern Zen Alpha or Zen Z require, is they require, it's like, you know, the first thing you see any of this Zen Z or Zen Alpha, they ask you the moment you enter, where is the Wi-Fi password? Right? That's the first thing they ask. So they're so digital savvy that you have to ensure that the moment they actually come to your building, you start interacting with them. So we are incorporating few new technologies. Of only one I will talk because I don't want to open it to the market because I have a couple of my competition also sitting out here. So the one thing we are trying to do is every employee access card, again, with the consent of the clients who we sign up, the moment they come by using Bluetooth infrared, we will be able to know that a particular employee has come in. We're going to do smart parking, which will guide them through navigation to enable them to go take the least route to park. And then also that information is passed on to the elevator, because he knows, the elevator would know that this particular employee works on a particular floor, correct? And that will enable that the lift talk to each other because of AI IoT, and ensure that the least waiting time. People don't like to wait nowadays. Everything has to be fast, everything has to be immediate. That is what we have to look at. So if you give that experience of them walking in, anyway, the clients on their floors have to do much more than what we can do, but every client nowadays is asking, saying that, I don't want to spend on this. You as a developer, can you give it? So our social spaces are actually increasing by the day we speak. Our designs were at 5% of the space. Today, we are going to 10% of our entire built space, just use the social space. And these social spaces, let me be honest, the live example is Salarpuri Satwa Knowledge Park. You will find that activities happening. That's a cue for all other developers to up their ante. If you don't give the social spaces for engagement, we will lose it out. Talking of AI in technology, what is AI? AI is not going to take over jobs, especially our facility administration. I'm not sure at the moment. But said that, AI is something what it learns from us. We also do the same. For us to be visible, we have to also be a social animal, correct? Technology will not take away your jobs if you're a social animal in your office. So that means that your engagement with your peers is more important for you to be more relevant in even the most routine job you do in your organization. So I personally believe, and I've read it somewhere, that AI is your new pension, correct? You have to invest on it, which is a learning part. If you invest in your learning part, it will ensure that you have value relevant for yourself in your organization and to the society as well. So technology is a must. So it's like I was telling my colleagues, I don't know if I can use it here. It's like your second wife, correct? You can continue change your technology. You can't do it with your first, but your second one, you can move from AI to blockchain. You can move from blockchain to some other technology to ChatGPT, but start embracing technology. And we are doing it. As a team, we do it. We're trying to work it also with our facilities as well.
Thank you, Gautam. So he didn't answer my question directly, but there is so much that he had said. So the right answers are already there in between. So we'll try to pick up. Yes, please, Karen.
I was really interested with that second wife part, so I feel it is not just a second wife. Technology can be a one-night stand. Technology can be your mistress. Technology can be your lifelong partner. It depends on how you approach technology. So the point that I am trying to drive home here is the point about technology obsolescence. So we as workplace managers always need to be conscious. We need to be ahead of time. We need to really predict how long a particular technology is going to sustain in our office spaces. And if we do the wrong type of investment, we have seen multiple cycles where we have invested in technologies thinking that it is something new and it is going to be pervasive. But then we have realized that our investments, I go back to the days when, we used to do when the Cisco, video conferencing came. All companies went about creating that, 360-degree kind of experience and, mirroring images. We had a building in our, let's say in India, we have got a building and we are trying to create a mirror image in another geography. So those kind of things, we took those decisions thinking that that is going to be long lasting. We did major infrastructure changes in our facilities. So what my small message to the team out here, because most of you are, workplace managers and people who are designing the, office spaces, you have to be very conscious when you make a spend. Don't make a wrong spend. Don't invest in a technology which is just like a blip on the horizon.
Thank you, Kallan. Nicely put. So we kind of got a sense of what is the changing nature of workplace, and what is it that someone who is at the center of the workplace, the employee, the user, what is he or she is going through. Ravi, have you recovered? Are you good to talk? Okay. Midlife crisis, right? So you're all empathetic.
If you, on a lighter note, I'm still recovering because thanks to Rashmi, she has put me on a tight spot last night, like last evening, where I don't know whether I have qualified to be in this panel, that she has moved me into the other panel. So coming back to your question, please.
Yeah, my question, Ravi, to you is so Gautam spoke about a bit of what the workplace is doing, right? And why I hope that he spoke about the work bit too, the changing nature of work as well. Would you want to throw some light on what is the changing nature of work, Ravi? See, as a workplace manager, you've managed the pandemic in terms of making sure that the work is sustained. Post that, there are so many changes, and at org level, there are so many changes. And the way organizations are perceiving the specific element of delivery, right? The delivery from business or the coders or your software experts. So that is changing in itself, that we are all perceiving it. What is your view on it? And as experienced managers, what should we be doing? The two-part question.
Now coming back to this question, one is I feel that there's no change when it comes to business as usual versus RTO or the hybrid model part of it. Being in facilities, fraternity, everyone is our internal customer. So whatever the touch points, which starts off with security, parking, maybe conference management, and maybe cafeteria management as such, everything is something which needs to be addressed. And that's something which we have been following diligently as such. But coming to your question, Arvind, I feel that we don't have a challenge in terms of coming to a new approach, because as long as we are able to stick to the firmer or the kind of a guidelines which is already in place, I don't see a kind of a difference where we have to reinvent the wheel in terms of serving our clients. But post-COVID, as maybe you can call it as resistance, but all we are facing is more of a challenge in terms of a resistance coming from employees in terms of coming to work. So their expectations are more in terms of seeing the freshness. It's not that they're not, before COVID, it's not that they didn't eat the same cafeteria spread, but now, before even coming into the office, they would like to see a kind of a change in approach of, maybe if you have to make a change, maybe if a salad before pandemic was from the right, they should expect the salad to be placed to the left now. But it's from the same platter. So challenge-wise, nothing, Arvind, but I think coming back to this question, all of us, there's a kind of a words called Gen X and Gen Y and Gen X and Gen Alpha. Okay. But let me ask you this question, are we not a part of Gen X or not? Maybe we must all reach to the midlife crisis. Huh? Maybe on a lighter note, I would like to talk about Menanji. Okay, he was a live wire in recently conducted offsite at Goa. Videos are available for your witness. Okay.
Thank you, Ravi. So, very important point that you mentioned, and unfortunately, I have to keep coming back to the topic. I can't indulge more. So, Gigi spoke about the changing nature of work. Ravi mentioned that the changing expectations from workplace in terms of dynamics, because the workforce is wanting novelty, newness, and he's saying that it's not challenge, but it's an aspect of anticipating the needs and how do we kind of keep the office space ready to receive them. So we've seen a bit of work and a workplace. Move on to the next topic. So again, I think appropriately misused in terms of a cliche, and I request my friend Hara to speak about it. So work is done, right? So two aspects of work we have done, and naturally, the moment I say work, the next sentence is work-life balance. So what's this work-life balance have to do? So if I don't work, I will not have a life anyway, right? So what's the work-life balance about?
Yeah. So why so stressful phases?
whether it is 8:30 or 9, bar counter will open for 90 minutes. So let's cheer about, let's enjoy the session. Whether it is 8:30 or 9, bar counter will open for 90 minutes. So you'll get enough drink. Okay. Yeah. So coming to work and work-life balance. So definitely, as Arvind told, if there is work, then there would be life. If life, then work. So all are both sides of same coin. The major driver for this work and work-life balance is the changing nature of work itself. Whether it is the remote work, work from home, too much use of technology, the gig economy, all those are the major drivers. So morning, first thing what we all do when we wake up. First thing, earlier what we used to do, we do some chanting of Bhagwan's name and all. But today, first thing we do, we see our mobile. What is that WhatsApp message or the mail? Is there any message from boss? And also all those things we need to see. Why? Because it has come in our blood that we are looking at, did I miss anything? More of organization, it is the individual who has to do that, how I can create a balance between work and life. There are some statistics, because when you are sitting with Colonel Ramesh Menon and Arvind, you have to do little research when you are coming to such panel. So I did some research, like if you look at in India, we work 2,200 hours in a year versus global average of 1,500 hours. Okay, so one way 1,500 hours versus 2,200. I think Rasmi is writing, because that will publish in the magazine on my name. So 50% more. Yeah. So 1,500 is global. 1,500 hours is the global average, and in India we work for 2,200 hours. One way we are working more, but whether we are getting that productivity or not, that's a different topic we'll discuss. So, but we are working 700 more hours. But in the other way, if you look at an average Indian work 35 years. Some people are good that they retire after 30 years. Some people like us who slog like 35 years, 38 years, but average is 35. I'm not talking about you, sir. So 30, within that 35 years, so if you look at 7,000 days we work in office. 7,000 working days, that Monday to Friday we work in office, and 5,700 days we spend non-working hours, whether we spend at home, networking, girlfriend, second wife, whatever the thing, but we get non-working hours of 5,750, which is exactly 45% of the working hours. So working hours versus non-working hours is 55 is to 45. Is it not right enough to create that work-life balance? Who is the culprit? We are the culprit. But when the HR team asks that we'll have a session today, normally that's not a correct thing, that work-life balance meeting at 6 p.m. So we are talking about work-life balance. The session is between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. All have to stay back for 2 hours. Okay, so that's that is in our hand, that how we can create that proper work-life balance. When we are getting that much of time, we have to, it's in our hand that how we can create that work-life balance properly. And second thing is that right to disconnect. We all talk about that right to freedom, right to speak, right to speech, all those things. But you should know right to disconnect. When should I disconnect? When we are discussing, Colonel Saab told a correct thing, that when I joined my present organization, not me, Colonel Saab, he has given the what do you call his points. He made it clear to the management that Friday evening onwards till Monday morning, my phone will be switched off. Correct? That's the right to disconnect. It's a correct thing. We all should follow. If you look at today's generation, you call them after Friday evening, they will not take your call. Okay, so the Gen Alpha or Gen Z, Gen Z, so all those people, they will not take your call on a Saturday, Sunday. So that's the right to disconnect.
So as a boss, so sometimes we get a toxic boss. So that's one in 100 or 2 in 100 you get. So those kind of bosses, they want to send those messages at 7 p.m. Suppose, Madan, it's not for you. My boss flight is at 4 a.m. I have to sit at bar till 2 a.m. because his flight is at 4 a.m. Okay, I have to sit in bar at 2 a.m. Boss will go in flight. So, and I have to go back to home. So those kind of buses are also there. Arvind?
Yeah, yeah.
So, correct. So those kind of buses are also there. So, but so Srini and Madan are thinking 2 a.m. today we have to see. Okay, so those kind of buses are also there, but those are like 2 in 100 kind of thing. But we should know as an individual, when we are getting that 40% time, that when we have the right to disconnect, which call I have to take, which call I don't have to take, and what time. During my office hours, 9+1 or 8+1, whatever is the office hours, I am available. After that, it's my time. When I'm getting that 45% of time, it's my time, how I want to use. But in today's world, when we are running, it's not working, we are running. So then we look at our professional growth and all. So like as Arvind told, if 2 days we'll switch off our phone, third day you see hundreds of mail. So who has to clear? I have to clear. Then rather open it and clear one by one. Okay. So coming to that work and workplace, what you call work-life balance, it's in our hand more than the office. It's in our hand how we have to manage. Thank you.
Thank you, Hara. Brilliant.
1 minute. I just wanted to add to what Hara has spoken, work-life balance. I don't like to use the term work-life balance. You had earlier used the terminology work-life integration. I would go a step further and call it work-life harmony. In today's environment, there is no clear boundary between work and life.
Absolutely.
And until and unless you learn to harmonize the both, you will never be able to balance the two. Balance means that these are two, conflicting things. You're trying to, you cannot sacrifice one at the expense of the other. So the key to success or key to happiness is work-life harmony and not work-life balance.
Brilliant. Thank you, Carl. So again, coming back to the topic, work, there's a bit of a knowledge that has come from Gautam. Workplace and why it is not a challenge and we'll be able to manage. Ravi has explained brilliantly. Hara spoke about the onus is on you. If you are logging in late and if you are not reaching home on time, the onus is on you. You make the call and then set the expectations, and there's a living example. Now, let us just stretch this a little ahead. Is it sufficient for us to think that what all we are talking to probably is the median population, right? You said someone should work from 9+1 hours. You said parking arrangement. You said food arrangement. So everything that we spoke about is talking about the median, the average, the regular guy. But where is our empathy about people, the outliers? There is also an element about making sure that we are conscious in terms of our inclusion, or what kind of a diversity are we bringing, both in terms of a workplace offering, as well as accepting and owning and providing for the diverse nature of our workplace. Colonel Menon, your thoughts on this, please.
Thank you, Arvind. There's a very interesting, trend that we see now. The thing that we commonly refer to as DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And of late, there is another thing which is creeping into it. Very soon, we'll start including the word justice also into the framework. So how it is important? The first part is, as far as, let me just deconstruct this in a very, very simple manner. When we're talking about diversity, we all are aware, especially in a country like ours, diversity is a very commonly used word. We talk about diversity in our own country in various contexts. And we talk about unity and diversity, all those kind of things. So that terminology is very clear. Coming to a workplace environment, I feel that it is a question of, how the organization structure is there. Does that organization structure provide for people from these various diverse kind of backgrounds
to coexist and work together. So that is the structure part of it. And on the other hand, you see the use of the word inclusion. Sometimes people interchange and they don't really have a clarity between these two. So I would go and approach this from a cause and effect kind of a way, where we are talking about diversity as a cause, then the effect is inclusion, where that people belonging to various kind of maybe ethnic, linguistic, racial, or sexual orientation, all these kind of people belonging to diverse segments are going to be coexisting in that workplace. So an inclusion is about allowing space, or maybe taking the concerns of all these groups into account while we, at the first stage, while we design the workplace, and the processes that we put in place to ensure that there is no kind of any bias or any kind of a harassment or any kind of an abuse happening in the workplace in the name of these kind of differences that exist. So that is what we see. And today, if you really see, in between diversity and inclusion is the word equity. That equity is something like it is striking a balance between two. Okay. What is the difference between equity and equality? I think there again, a lot of people confuse between the terms equity and equality. Equality is something that is there. Even in the constitution, there is equality for everybody, and we believe that everybody has to be given equal facilities, equal things. But today, when we are talking about diversity and inclusion, we don't use the word equality, we use the word equity more, for the simple reason that even when you're creating a common platform, there may be some people, even between the equals, some people would need a little bit of additional support to reach parity with the others. Simple examples in a workplace kind of a context is, sort of, you give the same parking to everybody, but you at least provide a space for a differently able person to access the lift closer to the parking zone. You give everybody is given a lift signage, but then you have a braille signage for somebody. You provide a ramp to somebody. So all these kind of things come where you are providing. That is where equity comes into play, where you're providing something additional to the other person also, so that his concern is taken into account. The last thing which is now currently creeping, and incidentally, my friend Mr. Seshasai was talking about this. So I will, after I finish, I will ask him also to dwell more on this, the terminology of justice which is there, and the difference between what is right and what is righteous. So that is a new trend which is going to come very slowly. And finally, the only thing I have to say is that where all these things are very important in today's kind of a context, because if you go, some of my friends here have been telling me that when they go for an interview, these are the questions that people ask. That do you give importance to DEI? Now, if you see even in the McKinsey report or Gartner report or anything, when you go through that, you will realize what are the common workplace trends today amongst you talk about Gen Z, Y, X, all these kind of things, and Gen Alpha also we are talking about. Very soon they will be dictating terms to us. So what is this thing? So the new generation is asking for DEI equally, as they're asking other things like ESG, technology, all these things, but DEI is becoming a very important trend today. So that is the reason why we should do it. And what is the advantage that you get by investing in that kind of a thing and providing that kind of a workplace is that it helps you in a lot of ways. It helps you curb your attrition. It makes your workplace a more attractive workplace. You can attract good talent, because in diversity, the biggest thing is that your talent, talent base is wide. And you've seen recently in our, Asian Games itself, the people from the South had got much more agile and flexible bodies. So they did well in sports, which were requiring that kind of a body structure. People from the North and Northwest region who were more physically bulkier bodies and all, they did well in the kind of sporting events. So what the country benefited from it. So similarly, it's in a workplace. When you have people from diverse groups coming, each group brings a new kind of a talent or a new kind of a skill or an ability into the workplace. And that is where we need to promote this thing. And as we go further, we will find even the way we design our offices, we will find that this is going to be becoming very, very important. We talked today about women-centric design, when the color palette, if you see older offices were very dull, monochrome. We had only black and gray in our offices. Today, we use the color pink, we use vibrant colors because we have got larger section of women and we need to understand that they like colors. Whereas we men might be very comfortable wearing blue or gray throughout our life. So all these kind of things are becoming very, very important in the way we design. My final word is that diversity should not be only in this kind of things, diversity of thought is the most important thing. Now, there are a lot of people who have been talking about diversity in thought. So until and unless you have that in your thought process, you can never reach a stage where you promote this in your work.
Brilliant, brilliant, Kalam.
Yeah, just-
Hara, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just 130 seconds. Colonel Shah told about Asian Games. Yes, yeah, Asian Games all over India contributed. I think you must have seen the figures. If you have not seen, just Google it and you'll see. Except Gujarat and Bihar, all the states has contributed to the number of medals because correct. Those two states are dry states. Gujarat and Bihar are dry states. So all other states contributed to the medals.
Yeah, so there is data and there is data analytics and there are insights. So please meet Hara. He'll achieve more such insights. So again, coming back to the topic, workplace, work-life balance, work-life harmony and diversity, inclusion, equity, and maybe bordering at justice. So it's quite a big bouquet of thoughts that influences work and workplace. Now, what's one missing thing? Anybody? One missing thing from this conversation, or one missing point from this conversation? Work, workplace, work-life harmony, diversity. What is the one missing thing? Sustainability. Brilliant. So that's the missing link. Anything that you want to do, anything that you want to build, anything that you want to create, it has to be sustainable. And who else other than our dear friend, Mr. Sesha? Mr. Sesha, sustainability, so it's definitely a celebrated word. But if we double click and feel and then look at it threadbare, is the word sustainability or this trend of sustainability is in itself sustainable? Will it stay for some time? What does it mean for workplace creations like us?
Look, as I sit and see, the time is running out. Time is not running out only for this panel discussion, but also this planet. Okay. So we are on a borrowed time. Today, the amount of resources this planet can supply for a year, all the, this wood, food, water, everything, we are consuming within first 7 months of the year. So we are speaking about the generations. Actually, all these, baby boomers generation, Y, X, we all have created or neglected this. That is why when Gen X and Gen Z, they come and ask, what are you doing? Okay, because now we are seeing this work and workplace. Actually, what is a workplace? This is the place where work happens. Last 3 years, people have done the work from the place where they are made to sit, that's homes. So the whole concept of what is the definition of workplace has been turned, it's upside down. There is no more office is mandatory to do the work. This has been proved over the 3 years. Now we are all trying to prove back, saying that no, you have to come to office to do the work, right? Obviously, with experience, with leadership, there is a reason. There are many mental, psychological things that happen because of social interaction, learning, guidance, peer, all these things. The work happened, but it is not a sustainable thing. Sustainability is only about the planet. It is sustainability about the people, how they can do. Like I think Gautam mentioned about the pension, about how you build your future sustainable, how you can be. And if you are burning out early, okay, so how do you be productive for the longer life? How can you have a end of your life? And in the middle of the session, actually, between the three mid session was the midlife of the building. And today, you see the irony. 30 years back, or maybe 70 years back, when we got our independence, the average life expectancy for the people was about 40 years or 35 years. Correct me. Today, we are at 70 or something. Okay, we made so much strides, right? But when we were growing up, my parents used to tell buildings are built for 100 years. Today, when buildings are in the teens, we are talking of midlife crisis. So what are we doing to our buildings? Where has happened all the engineering, technology, and all these things? Within 10 years, we are doing all this. This is not sustainable because there is a limited amount of resources. And we are not using them well. And that is why this generation is asking, what are you doing with this planet? What are you doing with this energy? What are you doing with water? And why I don't have electric vehicle charging point? Or why you are throwing away this fit out or no, this building, which is still has a useful life. So this is happening, and the sensitivity, a lot of work in India is happening. IT technology is coming from the Western countries, and they are already on the brink of collapse. And they are ahead of us in everything, including sustainability, at least 20-30 years. In Hyderabad or in India, we are fighting for parking spaces. In Nordic countries, you don't have buildings with parking. In fact, if you don't have parking, they are getting incentive. Here, if you have parking, people are paying premium. So there is a lot of contradictions in our society, in our way of life. We want to take a car, and everybody wants to have a car. You can't have a space on the road nor on the building. Okay, and also on this planet actually. So this sustainability is everywhere, and countries are going and committing in COPs. That Conference of Parties, probably you're aware. So far 27 conferences happened, and unfortunately, again, all talk is happening, no action is happening. So there is a lot of pressure is coming back onto countries. Now leaders are putting pressure on the companies. Companies are putting pressure on the, again, real estate guys. Tell me how much CO2 we have saved. Give me a report, because today everything has become, ESG has become reportable. So there is a tracking done, and there is a funding happening at a cheaper rate. So there are a lot of interconnected things. So today there is a lot of demand from the employees, because in this future world, wars are going to happen only for two things. One for water, and second for talent. And it is already happening, and it will continue to happen, grow. So when talent is asking, when people are asking, what are the sustainable measures? What are the ways? How responsibly are you going to behave? And this is the tough question. And we all have to put our heads together and answer this. And this topic is very, like you said, it's a very big topic, but essentially this has become the topic of not only boardroom, but on a day-to-day conversation. So everybody is asking these things. I think it is important that, like you said, we should dissect the workplace, and in that, how the place can contribute to better work in a sustainable way by doing either net zero building. You have many strategies, and that is a big, just I'll give one example. The other day I was speaking to one of the campus. I can't take name because I didn't take name, but they have 90% of their energy is coming from solar. They have covered entire space they can put, and they are doing. And they have 20% of their car parking with electric vehicles. Their buildings are actually using the recycling water 90%, so they are using 10% of water. So these are the measures. At least some places we can start, and then go out and in communities we have to spread this knowledge and do further. But first, to apna ghar, we have to, within our thing, we have to do. I think once we do this, even if offices are little old, and if they are not looking so shiny, today I think you can make an argument for still attracting talent if you bring in the sustainable practices into workplaces.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent point, Sesha. So I think we're closing the loop here in a manner that when we started speaking about work, workplace, harmony, diversity, then going into sustainability, which is an assurance that this is going to continue. And Sesha ended up saying that if you bring in the design element, and if the buildings or workplaces or practices, awareness, if they are sustainable by design, there is hope. So I think we can close on that note. Any questions are happy to take, or we can call it today. Okay, gone. That's it. No more questions. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everybody, for brilliance, and thank you, panelists.
Thank you so much, Arvind, and thank you so much, each of the panel members. You were dynamically witty today. Thank you so much for everything. I'm going to quickly call on stage Mr. Yogesh Velankar, who is the Associate Director at Autic and Mr. Indrajit Saoji from ICT Media to give our panel members this dynamic bunch here a great applause, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, for such a beautiful ending, Farooq. So just a small token of appreciation from our end. No, no, no. There, Indrajit is there. There, thank you so much. Please, firstly to the moderator of the panel, Mr. Arvind from LTI Mindtree. Secondly, Mr. Harprasad Panda from Captain Services. I have to tell you, this individual single-handedly helped me pull off this. Every speaker here has been here with him. So thank you so much, Hara, for everything. We next have Mr. Gautam Garela from My Home Constructions. Gautam, thank you for taking out your time and joining us here. Thank you so much. That's Mr. Gautam for you. We next have Mr. Ramesh Menon. I'm going to check out his videos online of the offsite that had happened in Goa, right, if I'm not mistaken. And finally, Mr. Sesha Sai, the managing director with Savills. Thank you so much, Mr. Sesha. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, it's a wrap. Just one small group picture, sir, if you don't mind. Yeah. It's a wrap, and thank you so much. If you have no idea how much it means to me to still see this hall on a Friday night, on a Dasera Navratri night evening, that too. Thank you so much to each of my panel speakers. They have been brilliant. The soul of this particular conference, I couldn't thank them enough. And mainly, I would like to once again thank Mr. Harprasad Panda. From the beginning till in the evening, he's messaged me, is everything in line, anything you need. He's helped me with bringing the entire industry together for this particular conference. But thank you so much for everyone.
We would like to rephrase the name of Harprasad to Happy R Prasad.
With this, I'm gonna take a close here, and there's dinner and the bar open. It's a Navratri. I don't know how it's this, but I'm still gonna say there's a bar open, and please enjoy us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Looking to experience the hassle-free management for your vending solutions? Presenting Nestle Professional's premium bean to cup solution. Our cutting-edge machines are backed by a dedicated customer service team, available in over 150 cities. They are committed to resolving concerns within 5 hours. Don't miss out. Schedule your demo today.
Since our inception in 2008, with quality-driven operations and sustainable practices to deliver more than just furniture, we provide complete ergonomic solutions, the essence of comfort and perfection, blending elegance and efficacy. AFC Furniture Solutions.
Area with 2.5 square feet with a monthly capacity to manufacture over 15,000 workstations and